Night by a 9-3 final. It'll be Hellman and Shoemake, the key cogs in this lineup. They're both in the top 11 in the SEC in hitting. They're the only two, or they're two of three regulars that are hitting over 300 this season. And they are facing a crafty lefty in Arkansas's Casey Murphy. Murphy comes in 5-4, second best ERA in the SEC at 2.57.
Been about as consistent as you could want a left-hander to be. Steady the entire season for Casey Murphy. Really, you know exactly what you're going to get. 3 pitches at any time, just 10 walks in 63 innings this year for Murphy. The heartbeat is right for a setting like this. Never looks like anything phases him. You look up in the 6th or 7th inning, Casey Murphy's usually standing out there, and Arkansas usually has a lead.
So here's Michael Hellman, third in the SEC in batting average at 371. This despite an 0-for-4 start to the series. He had 4 strikeouts last night.
Yeah, did not look comfortable at all at the plate. Unlike him, tried to pull a lot of the pitches. His best approach is going right center field.
And we welcome those of you who just watched Tulsa knock off USF in the American Championship here from Baum Stadium in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Game 2 of this SEC series between a pair of top 20 teams. Tom Hart, Eduardo Perez, Kyle Peterson, and it is just about perfect for baseball. Into center field off the bat of Michael Hellman, Dominic Fletcher has it. And there is one down. Here's how Texas A&M lines them up. Their offense this season a tick below their standards. They're middle of the pack in the SEC in batting average and towards the bottom in home runs, but they lead the league in triples. Hellman, Shoemake, and Foster are the only 3 starters that are over 300 on the season for this Texas A&M team, which lost last night 9-3 and only had 6 hits on the game. They struck out 15 times against Arkansas starter Blaine Knight and the Razorbacks bullpen. A lot on the line for both of these programs. Arkansas trying to hold on to what now looks like a top 8 national seed. Texas A&M with a series win and a win next week against South Carolina could be in position to host in the first round of the postseason. This is lefty Casey Murphy on the mound for Arkansas and Cole Bedford at the plate. Bedford was 1-for-4 last night for the Aggies. And a little flare is going to drop into the triangle, and he's aboard with a 1-out single. Casey Murphy 5-4 in the season, second best ERA in the SEC at 2.57.
He's going to hammer the zone. That's exactly what Casey Murphy does every time he goes out. 10 walks, 63 innings this year for Murphy. Steady and consistent, 3 pitches at any time. That time a changeup that was elevated. Cole Bedford gets the first hit of the ball game for Texas A&M. But you'll see him live more arm sides. So the fastball away to the right-handers, and then he'll surprise you in late.
Been a while since Murphy found a win. Took the loss last time out in a 1-run game against LSU. His last win came on April 14th against South Carolina. Brain Shoemake, 11th in the SEC in batting average, 8th in the league in hits. The guy who started every game on a College World Series team last year at second base. I think sometimes we forget just how young he is, just a sophomore, but an experienced sophomore.
Last night, Knight attacked Shoemake inside early. Murphy doing the same exact thing. First pitch, ball inside, and then went and attacked up in the zone for strike 1.
Bedford at first base is a catcher, only 2 stolen bases, and Shoemake gets hit. Got hit by a pitch in his last at-bat last night.
Wore one of the feet to end the night last night. This one, you can see Shoemake kind of diving a little bit too. And I think it's one of the reasons they were trying to throw that fastball in First one missed in, the second one for a called strike. This one just kind of sails Casey Murphy. He doesn't hit many guys either. That's just the third hit batsman for Casey Murphy this year, but two-seam fastball just gets away, and A&M has 2 on here in the first.
So he's got that elbow guard, and that hit right above the elbow guard.
So an opportunity for the Aggies in the first with Hunter Coleman at the plate. Coleman homered in his first at-bat last night. That's simply a byproduct, KP, of pitching inside?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every once in a while, if you're going to live inside, which is a good thing, it's a place that you have to be able to control that half of the plate. Sometimes you're going to hit a few guys.
Yesterday, Coleman, first pitch he saw deposited probably in the parking lot across the street yesterday.
Yeah, that was way gone.
First pitch this time, they went off speed with runners in scoring position, 2 runners on.
That was his 5th home run of the season. He had a monster shot in the finale of the Florida series. That was last Sunday at Texas A&M.
You would expect the power numbers for A&M to be a little bit better than they are.
Yeah.
When you see some of these guys, Coleman has real power. Real power. I mean, that ball last night had to go 400 feet at least down the left field line.
Oh, yeah. A lot more than that.
That was one of his 2 hits on the night. With a steady breeze blowing right to left in the ballpark last night and again today.
So far, Murphy living away, arm side to both lefties and righties. Keeps getting that call on the outside part of the plate. Keep expanding.
Yep.
Curveball, slice foul.
Over the course of this game, watch the glove of Grant Cook, the catcher, and where the misses are and where the makes are. The glove is not going to move very much, and that's the one thing. If you're Cook, you love catching a guy like Casey Murphy because the control of all 3, we've already seen all 3. That was a breaking ball there. Even though the fastball got away from got away against Shoemake, usually you're going to see his misses on the side of the plate or off the plate that he wants to miss on. When he starts missing in the middle, that's when Murphy has some problems.
Arkansas's pitching coach is Wes Johnson. He's a really good one, and you may have noticed the earpiece that Grant Cook is wearing. If you're not aware, in the SEC, experimental rule allows wireless communication between the dugout and the catcher. Ostensibly a pace of play initiative to get calls in directly without having to use hand signals, but it also allows the catcher to be a conduit for the pitching coach, and he can receive any instruction at any time. That includes when he goes out on a mound visit. That did not miss by much, according to Hank Himmonen. Wes Johnson was one of the early adapters, you could say, among college coaches with pitching analytics and mechanics. And no matter what, when you get a call you don't like, doesn't matter what TrackMan tells you. You're frustrated.
He'll see that one later on, realize it was out. Especially when you're from the side. I mean, you can see the up down, you can't see the in out. And the way that Cook caught it, it looked like it may have caught the plate, but it definitely missed away.
And so the payoff with 2 aboard in the first. And that's up, and the Aggies have loaded them up. Let's go back 2 pitches ago and see just how close this was.
He's trying to go back to a breaking ball. So you can see Cook set up. He's trying to go back to a breaking ball, but watch how far he has to go out and get it.
That ball's outside.
Ball's off the plate.
And unlike Murphy, first inning, hit by pitch, walk, only walked 10 guys the entire season. That'll be the 11th. Little frustration set right there, but once they see that replay, they'll see that that pitch was a ball.
In addition to all of the analytics that Wes Johnson uses, he's also really big on pitchers' confidence and trying to build guys up and have a positive attitude. Well, in the first inning, a bloop single, a hit batter, and a walk.
He may try to build the confidence up of Hank Himmonen right now, too. The reason he's out there, and one of the reasons he's covering his mouth right now, is he can still get his 2 cents in without anybody else in the ballpark knowing what's going on. There wasn't a whole lot there, but you could see he kind of turned. I think he asked, was that ball out? Was that ball out?
Yeah, there's a strategy. You don't look at the umpire in the face right there.
He is a really good one. Really good one. Dallas Baptist, Mississippi State, now here at Arkansas in his second year. But a chance to sit down with Wes earlier this year, see the way that they utilize TrackMan, how he puts it into the process of all of his different pitchers. And he's really, from a college standpoint, he's at the forefront of using that technology and ultimately making his guys better.
Well, Murphy's got to get better and do it quickly. Bases loaded with Chris Andritzos at the plate for Texas A&M. Andritzos was not in the starting lineup last night.
As a hitter right here, you have to think right center field. The way Murphy has pitched, arm side, everything's away. If you try to pull, you're most likely a high candidate right now for a rollover to third base or shortstop for the double play. Try to stay away from it, get a run.
Arkansas has turned 44 double plays this season, third most in the league. To third, backhanded pickup. Casey Martin comes home. What a pick by Cook.
What a play. Cook just saved 1, possibly 2 runs right there. From a catcher standpoint, after trying to be the guy to receive it, now he becomes pretty much like the first baseman. Good play right here. Throws home. What a pick. Stays down low and through it.
That's tough, too, because that's at tweener. You're not quite sure if it's going to hit the grass or the dirt. It's right in the spot where you don't know exactly the hop you're going to get. That's a big-time play by Cook behind the plate.
Puts a second out on the board. The bases remain loaded for Logan Foster.
Getting that call outside. This is where Cook's experience comes into play. He sees those calls being called, keeps creeping away to get more calls.
309 average for Foster, 2 for 5 with the bases loaded this year.
Keeps getting it. And if you're wondering why home plate umpire Hank Himmonen is making those calls, if you look where he stands, and this is at the correct spot for the umpire, right over the left shoulder with a right-handed hitter up. It's more of an educated guess what you have on the weak side.
Kind of his blind spot, right?
Absolutely.
Good spot. Why not? I mean, if you're going to get a little bit, see how much more you're going to get. First 2 pitches, probably a little bit off the plate, gets the call. That one tries to expand it, thinking maybe Foster would chase, but still in a good spot, 1-2.
Murphy trying to get out of trouble in the first inning. A glance at Shoemake at third. The 1-2.
I remember when I was at Florida State, we had an umpire by the name of Bruce Ravan. Every time we're like, Bruce, is that outside? He goes, just a little bit. Meaning, and we're like, just a little bit that there's more, or just a little bit outside. He would never let us
just
know.
Leave it there?
Yeah. Little Southern hospitality. Look at the lane right there. Blind side on the weak side.
The only lefty Murphy has faced thus far was Shoemake, and he hit him.
I say go fastball away now again. See if you can get the call.
Is that a natural run or something that Murphy's manipulating?
That last pitch? I mean, his changeup will cut a little bit too now. It comes back to the glove side a little bit. So sometimes the breaking ball and the changeup can look fairly similar because the movement is both going into a right-handed hitter. That was the slider. if you can execute the pitch, if you go glove side fastball, Foster's not going to swing. I think you can lock him up with that pitch right now. The question is, do you want to do it with the bases loaded? Because if it leaks out over the plate, it can be 4-0 real quick.
Just go fastball away.
Foster's got 8 home runs in the season. He's driven in 34. And takes a breaking ball to right field. Wind blowing in, plenty of space for Eric Cole, and he puts it away, and Arkansas avoids an early deficit as the Aggies go 0 for 2 with the bases loaded in the first inning. Murphy escapes the jam. Arkansas's offense coming up. It's the best ballpark in college baseball. This is Baum Stadium, and this is the SEC on ESPN. Baum Stadium in Fayetteville, Arkansas, named by Baseball America as the best in the country. Dave Van Horn has called this ballpark home for a while now. He's in his 16th season as the head hog, former Nebraska head coach. He's been to Omaha with multiple teams, and this looks like an Omaha caliber squad that he has here at Arkansas. They lead the league in hitting, 306 as a squad, and they lead the SEC in home runs with 75. And despite the power numbers, they have struck out third fewest among any other team in the SEC. His batting order features 48 home runs among the first 5 hitters.
4 guys in his lineup with double-digit home runs. 1, 2, 3, and 5 in the lineup. Cole, Martin, Kerstad, and Carson Shaddy, and they'll face a good one. John Doxakis has a chance to be really special by the time his time at Texas A&M is done. Just a sophomore, I think he's got a chance to really be elite, and you can see him grow throughout the course of the season. Fastball, slider primarily. He'll show you a changeup too. Fastball can get into the low 90s, but you're going to see the stuff of a left-hander that I think ultimately, if he stays healthy, Doxakis got a chance to pitch for a long time.
His last outing came against the #1 team in the country, Florida, last weekend in College Station. He struck out 5 over 5 innings. Was undone by his own inability to field, had a chance to turn a double play early in the game, but threw the ball away, and that led to Florida's victory. Eric Cole in the leadoff spot for Arkansas. Junior from South Lake Carroll High School in South Lake, Texas. And he sends a line drive into the corner in right. That is fair, and extra base is coming. Chandler Morris digs it out, and Cole's standing up with a leadoff double for Arkansas.
Well, this is what's made Eric Cole such a great leadoff hitter for Arkansas. Switch hitter, this time pitch up and away, goes the other way with it. Gets that high leg kick, foot gets down, stays behind it. Already in scoring position. Take what they give you. He's done it all season long.
And now in the top of the order, Arkansas features back-to-back freshmen, starting with Casey Martin, who had 3 hits in the 2-hole last night, and he looks at a first pitch strike. Martin's hit safely in 4 of the last 5. He's at third base today. He started at second base in the series against Alabama and LSU when Carson Shaddy was out with a hand injury. From Lone Oak, Arkansas, third-rated recruit in the state, already the 2-time SEC Freshman of the Week. Scary proposition for the rest of the league, as good as Arkansas is, and they lead the West right now. Stands to reason they could be even better next year.
Martin a freshman, Kerstad a freshman, Fletcher just a sophomore.
Now that thought with the runner at second of trying to move the runner over, forget about it. Now make hard contact wherever it's pitched. 2 strikes on you.
Instead, Casey Martin goes down looking.
Good spot. So when you watch Casey Murphy from Arkansas, he's going to live away, and it's really what he did to all the right-handed hitters. Doxakis has the ability to do this, and he will do this. Surprise you with that fastball in. You can see for Casey Martin, he's looking for something out over the plate. There's just not enough time to pull the trigger on that one. That's well done.
So here's another freshman, Heston Kjerstad, out of Amarillo, Texas. He has grown into his body. He's now 6'3", 203. He's always been a great hitter, but now he's got some power. 10 home runs on the season.
Yesterday was a little bit pool happy, 0 for 5 on the night. First pitch slider. See where that head goes. Trying to do a little too much.
Nothing in 2.
He's going to keep seeing him now. Slider, swung through the first one. That one sounded like maybe he got a piece of it, but he may see 3 or 4 more in a row.
Going further and further away here.
Yep.
Into left, Foster over, and he will get there. 2 down. Logan Foster's made a couple of really tough plays in left field here in this series, with the wind being an issue for both teams.
What do you got, Cantore? Where are we at today?
Got it just a tick below where we were yesterday, 18.5 miles an hour.
Okay. You good with that?
Am I good with that?
Yeah.
Right now, it's actually not blowing as hard as it was yesterday. I don't know about the 20-mile-per-hour wind he had yesterday.
Because he made it up.
I licked my finger and everything. I mean, you can't get more technical than that.
Whenever you climb on top of the roof, then we'll talk.
Do it for the team, Hart.
Why are you trying to kick me out? Never mind, don't answer that. Here's Luke Bonfield. And that got him in the foot. Ouch.
I gotta seem like that seems like a really good idea in your mind until it actually hits you in the foot.
I don't know wherever you thought it was a good idea.
You see the move of Bonfield? I mean,
yeah.
he wasn't going anywhere.
He wasn't.
So he's not going anywhere. And right now he's like, I don't know if that was the right decision. I mean, it sounded okay, and that hurt.
You know what would have been worse? Huh. Being hit by a bocce ball there.
You know what? That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Only because some people play bocce in flip-flops. So here's Carson Shaddy. By the way, that's a 10th hit batter of the season for Doc Sackis. Shaddy got the party started early for Arkansas last night. He had a 3-run home run in the first inning. Second in the league in on-base percentage. Second in the SEC in OPS behind Florida's Jonathan India.
You got to stay with that ball. Ow! We saw yesterday the wind play a lot of tricks on fly balls to right field. Watch this home run. Up, down, and in. Able to clear the hips.
This kid's had pop since he showed up. When he was a freshman, the ball just comes off his bat a little bit different, still does. One of 3 seniors in the lineup today for Dave Van Horn.
He's been around a while. Shaddy was on the team that made the College World Series in 2015. He was a catcher on that team. And while draft day is a celebration for a lot of college baseball players and amateur players throughout the world, it was a devastating time for Shaddy. He went undrafted last year. But after that moment, he rededicated himself to the Arkansas program and basically said, let's ride, let's go do it. And he got off to a fantastic start. He was the SEC Player of the Week, week 1. Hit a row bump when he got hit by a pitch in the Mississippi State series a few weeks ago and missed 7 games. After Arkansas went to the College World Series in 2015, Shaddy had to undergo Tommy John surgery. Missed the next year, came back in a big way. The .340 average and 8 home runs. Had a chance to leave then, and Dave Van Horn said, you can really be a great player here.
Two strikes, he chokes up on the bat. Knows the importance of having that runner at second base, try to get Cole in.
Fouled it off. Shaddy is missing his double play partner today and for the rest of this series. It's Jax Biggers, typically Arkansas's starting shortstop. Got hit by a pitch when he was trying to bunt last night. You see the index finger of his left hand has a splint on it. This was nasty. Pulled the batting glove off, and it had split the skin on the underside of the finger, the fleshy side opposite the nail, and it was gushing blood. Talked to him at the cage today. He said, I don't do real well with that stuff. Through the left side. Cole being waved home. The throw from Foster never comes. He ran right through it, and Arkansas takes advantage, and Shaddy gets an extra 90.
A lot of components to this play. First, the choking up of the bat by Shaddy, putting the ball in play after fouling off some tough pitches. Stays behind that baseball, drives it in that 5-6 hole. The beautiful part about this is once the error is made in left field, looking up, peeking to see if the runners are going, Shaddy never breaks stride, and then the beautiful slide, avoiding the tag. Trying to do the little bit of the freestyle right here with that right arm.
Love it.
Staying away from the tag. Love the hustle and the aggressiveness.
Love that slide. Goes head first, right arm disappears, left arm gets to the bag. Shaddy standing at second base, Hogs on the board. That's well done.
Very Michael Phelps of him. That was only the 4th error of the season on Logan Foster. An RBI single for Shaddy, and Dominic Fletcher, Arkansas center fielder, looks at a strike. He's from Cypress, California. Homered last week in the LSU series. This is an Arkansas team which is a top 10 program according to all the rankings. They're number 6th in the country in the coaches poll. They are in line right now for a top 8 national seed, but Dave Van Horn has said we really haven't played our best baseball yet.
Take good spot. Yeah, it's I mean, you see all the pieces for Arkansas. The one thing they're not going to do, they're not going to run a ton. Other than that, though, this is a pretty complete club. 15-10 in the SEC. The RPI and the strength of schedule right in the spot that you expect from national seeds, and 15 wins against the RPI top 50. That's 4th in the country.
Doxakis finishes off Fletcher with a strikeout, but the SEC's best offense is at it again. They pieced together a run with a double, a hit batter, a single, and an error. We're coming down the home stretch of the college baseball season. The defending national champs Florida are dominating the SEC once again. Their magic number is 1 to win the East. Mike Martin, a legend in his own right, passed another legend, the late Augie Garrido, all-time winningest head coach in college baseball history. And everybody says that this June's MLB draft will be dominated by college players. There are some big names that we're used to seeing in the postseason that will have to hustle just to get there.
TCU's been Omaha 4 straight years. They really need to almost win out. Got beat yesterday 4-3 in the opener against West Virginia. Rice, Virginia, Miami. LSU still with some work to do. 8th inning grand slam yesterday. Came back from a 4-run deficit in the 8th to win the opener against Alabama.
That came from Bo Jordan, who graduated earlier in the day. Speaking of Rice, they've been to the tournament 23 consecutive years. This is the final year for longtime head coach Wayne Graham as a head coach at Rice. He owns a national championship to his name. He's coached the likes of Lance Berkman, and in junior college, Andy Pettit and Roger Clemens.
I think it just speaks to the parity. I mean, there's so much more parity in the game right now. We talk about the power in the SEC, and it's absolutely there. But across the board, there's more teams and more athletic departments just putting money into this sport. 4 straight years TCU's been to the College World Series. Nobody else in the country can say that.
And LSU doesn't wear their road uniforms in the tournament very often, but that's what it's looking like this year. Nice play at second base, 1 down. And Eduardo, we mentioned it, your college coach, Mike Martin, affectionately known throughout the game simply by his number. 11 is now the winningest coach in college baseball history.
He is, and it's unbelievable what he has been able to accomplish. The consistency in recruiting, the attention to detail, and the respect that he has gotten all around college baseball is impressive.
You know what I love, too, is the respect that he has for the university. I mean, he played there, been a part of that university almost 50 years.
Took over for Dick Hauser.
Yeah.
He was the assistant coach. Dick Hauser then went on to manage the Kansas City Royals. He called 11 and he said, "It's all yours, buddy. Go see what you can do with it." And this is what he's been able to accomplish on his 39th season with the Seminoles.
This one's launched to left field. Kerstad will watch it sail over the fence. It is, wow, that was yanked. Think I'm about on with the win.
Yeah, he knew it as soon as he hit it that it was foul ball. The tendency that a right-handed hitter has against a left-handed pitcher, once he pulls one this far, is the lefty now will stay away hard to see if he can get him to chase.
Yancha into right, and this one in the seats. I want to stick with Mike Martin a little bit because not only is he a great coach, but like the man whose record he has now, the late Augie Garrido, he's a great man.
He is. I mean, what he represents to the players, the stability that he has with his wife Carol, and just with the family. And again, everyone in Tallahassee is, to him, it's family.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unbelievable. You learn and you grow as an individual when you attend a program like that where 11 is a big part of.
Eddie, we had a chance to have them at Fenway Park a few weeks ago when they played Boston College in the ALS awareness game, and I thought it was so cool because for all of the things that he's done, he had never coached in a major league ballpark.
Wow.
And to see his reaction when that happens in Fenway, and Eddie got a chance obviously to be a part of it, and the time that Eddie had spent in Tallahassee, it was just cool to see his face and his reaction when he got into a situation, because you just, I don't know, expect that maybe he had done it up to that point.
He was soaking it all in.
Yeah.
So were the players.
And in large part, he has the Red Sox biggest rival to thank. You mentioned the fact he took over for Dick Hauser. If George Steinbrenner hadn't fired Billy Martin again, Steinbrenner would have never called the Florida State dugout during a fall practice one year and called Dick Hauser and asked him to return to the Yankees. He had previously been their third base coach. Hauser took over the Yankees, would later on move to the Royals, and as soon as Steinbrenner hired him away, Mike Martin shifted over in the dugout. Took over the head spot, and he has yet to leave.
Hence Dick Hauser Stadium, Mike Martin Field.
It's going to be odd someday to see somebody else as the head coach of Florida State.
Yeah.
This is, we've said the same over the years. Texas and Stanford, and next year Rice and Miami next year.
I mean, some of the titans of this game. Gene Stevenson not long ago at Wichita State, just names that you directly associate with a program. Mark Marquis at Stanford, almost 40 years. David Esker takes over this year for the first time. Stanford having a great run. Oregon State got him yesterday in the opener.
Two-strike pitch to George Yancha.
This is a great at-bat by George. Foul pitches away, taking it the other way. Tough pitches. They've tried to come in on him. He's fouled those too. Making Murphy work. Already at 36 pitches with one out in the top half of the second.
Yancha provided a big hit for Texas A&M last year in their Super Regional. Game 1 against the Cinderella team from Davidson. He got the walk-off in the bottom of the 15th. Davidson the week before knocked off a national seed North Carolina. And that opened the door for A&M, and the Aggies ended up back in Omaha for the 6th time in school history.
Tell you what, this kid is a different hitter than when we saw him earlier against LSU. A lot more confidence at the plate, and the numbers really show it also. Hitting over 300 since we last saw him.
He's hit safely in 4 of 5. Couldn't find the high fastball, and Murphy ends that battle.
Good idea right there, because Yancha's fouling off inside, outside. He had pulled one down the line. He had pulled one down then shot one down the right field line. Both fouled out. This time, just elevate the fastball. See if you can move something up and out of the plate that ultimately he can't get to. Right about at the letters. First strikeout of the day for Casey Murphy.
Here's Chandler Morris getting just his 8th start of the season. Right field has been a revolving door for Texas A&M over the course of this season, and Morris is getting the start out there today.
How quiet Grant Cook's movements are back behind the plate. These are guys I used to love to throw to. There's not a lot. He knows when to try to steal a strike. He knows when to let one go. Tried to steal that one. You can see his reaction. It just always looks like it's a deliberate movement. Nothing herky-jerky.
Watch out.
Good try right there. Trying to go in. Now you have a 3-2 count, 2 outs. You have a 1-run lead. See what you can do with it right here.
Off the bag, Martin. 1-2-3 framework by Murphy, but he had to work for it. He's thrown 44 pitches through 2. SEC baseball tournament starts Tuesday, May 22nd from Hoover, Alabama. It'll be new look ballpark in Hoover. They redid the entire playing surface this year. They hadn't done that in a long, long time. New drainage, new playing surface. They widened the dugouts. Be a great event. Bobbled it short. Shoemake recovers. And he takes care of Grant Cook. If the season ended today, we'd be way ahead of schedule. And this is what the bracket would look like. Florida, by the way, with a victory against Georgia, will win its SEC East again and clinch at least a share of the SEC regular season title. Arkansas is the only one that can tie him at that point. Top 4 seeds get a bye out of day number 1, and a lot of teams with a lot to prove once we get to Hoover.
Florida, Georgia at it in game 2 right now. Florida won the opener yesterday with 2 runs in the 9th. Up 3-1 today on a Nelson Maldonado home run.
Jared Gates looks at a strike.
Got him.
Second hit batter for Doxakis today. Gives him 11 now, over 11 starts. Jack Kenley has an opportunity in front of him. He'll start at short at least the last 2 games of this series. And may have more opportunities in front of him next week with Arkansas starter Jax Biggers out.
Good opportunity to bunt right here. Left on left, runner at first. You got Eric Cole, which already hit a double earlier in the first inning. Casey Martin yesterday having a big offensive night.
Kenley was 0 for 3 yesterday. Block, it gets all the way out in front.
Really good jump. This is anticipating ball in the dirt right here. The entire time, always keeping your feet moving at first base. Jared Gates. You can win ball games on the bases. You can also lose them there. Ball hits dirt, just go. Beautiful anticipation right there. Takes the secondary, reads it well, never hesitates, and slides to the outside part of the bag.
Gates, a senior, getting a chance to start on senior day here. Did not start yesterday.
Three 0 the count to Kenley. Two on with one out. This week, the Sunday Night Baseball crew is in Arizona for the game between Bryce Harper and the Nationals and A.J. Pollock and the Diamondbacks. Our coverage begins at 7 Eastern on ESPN with Baseball Tonight Sunday Night Countdown. Both streaming live on the ESPN app. It's Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell. How about Max Scherzer last night? Former Missouri star struck out 11, didn't walk a batter. He's now tied with Pedro Martinez with his 18th career game of at least 10 strikeouts without a walk. Who's more fun to watch pitch in the big leagues right now? Besides Scherzer.
Yeah, nobody for me. You know what is more fun, though, actually, is the bullpen cart in Arizona.
Yes.
Have you seen that?
Oh, yes,
Colin McHugh was the first to use it. Razorbacks have a great pro tradition. That is a well-populated board, including Dallas Keuchel and Andrew Benintendi.
Yeah, if you're a lefty, this is the place to be. Drew Smiley.
Yeah.
Dallas Keuchel, Cliff Lee. I'll even put Andrew Benintendi in that group because he throws lefties and rakes lefty.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah.
Andrew Benintendi bobblehead day. That is that's the big league hair, right?
Oh, that's
last season's big league hair.
Yeah, he didn't have that here.
Nor did Keuchel have the beard while he was here. Benintendi went 7th overall. That was the 3rd highest draft pick in Arkansas school history, and he was the first Division I player in 7 years to hit 20 home runs and steal 20 bases in a season.
How many home runs he hit? Because he left as a draft-eligible sophomore. How many home runs did he hit his freshman year?
I think
One?
It was like 3.
2? I mean, it was hardly any. Came out of nowhere to have the season. He had really had it the entire year.
Rob Childress will hear him call the Hogs as he makes a visit to the mound to chat with John Doxakis.
I wonder what this one's about. You don't see a lot of 1-2 visits. Must have seen something from the side or something mechanically. Wanted to make sure he talked to Doxakis about or remind him of exactly what the scouting report is right here on Cole. Rob Childress, great pitch in mind.
There's history between these two dugouts. Rob Childress and 3 of his assistants spent significant time at Nebraska, where they either played under or coached with Dave Van Horn.
Jeff Christie, Will Bolt, Justin Seeley, all former Huskers.
Dave Van Horn told me yesterday, he said, I hate this series. I hate the fact that one of us has to lose. Eric Cole pops up the first. The series has some history behind it. These two programs first met in 1908. And the Aggies won 18 of the first 19 meetings. But since A&M joined the SEC, Arkansas has held the upper hand. The Razorbacks have won 4 of 5. Not very often you see the team's leading home run hitter at the top of the lineup. That's what Eric Cole is. He had been hitting in the 2-hole. And they got pushed up to the leadoff spot.
Well, you look at that on-base percentage of Cole. 421 all throughout. Top 5 hitters in the lineup, all over 400 on-base percentage.
With power, too.
Yeah.
Another guy that has power, Jonathan India at Florida, just hit his 16th home run. The Gators starting to open it up. Now 9-1 Florida over Georgia, a Georgia team that was projected to be a national seed in this week's projections. That's where Arkansas will finish the season. They go to Athens next weekend.
Florida is so good. It's hard time. I have a hard time judging other teams when they lose to Florida, or really holding it against them. I mean, they can make you look pedestrian, and this is a great league. 3rd strikeout for Doxakis.
We've seen 2 similar at-bats in today's game. One from Texas A&M's George Johnshaw, the 3rd baseman, was struck out on a pitch up in the zone after fouling off a few pitches. This one we see Eric Cole strike out again after a really good at-bat, pitch up in the zone. It's a common theme with the way swings are now being processed.
Shoemake goes to 3rd, and they get the force out there to end the inning. 2 innings in the books in the natural state. Arkansas leads A&M 1-0.
I'm Andrew Benintendi. I played in Omaha with Arkansas, the College World Series. It was awesome to get there for the state and for ourselves and our team. It was really fun. You got fans from all over the country coming to watch those teams compete, and it's what every team works for every year. To compete at that level is a good time.
So from Omaha to the big leagues, all of these guys not only played in the SEC but played in the College World Series. Dansby Swanson was taken 1st overall, made his major league debut with the Braves in August of 2016. He got the phone call after Vanderbilt had just won at Illinois in the NCAA postseason. He took the phone call down the left field line with all of his teammates surrounding him.
What about those routes to the big leagues, though? And granted, they're all top 7 overall picks in the 1st round, but just over a year after all 3 of them had played in the College World Series, all 3 were in the big leagues.
I think there's a testament to the environment that they play in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Buck Showalter from the Orioles has talked about that. About drafting guys out of the SEC or out of big-time conferences that play in environments like this. And then as you go up and you get to the major leagues, the environment doesn't shock you as much.
before you talked, people always said about there's that extra level in the stadium, that upper deck level that you don't see in a lot of places. Well, let me tell you something. You go to a lot of SEC schools,
yes.
and you look around, and there are people everywhere.
Like this place.
This is beautiful.
Yeah.
You leave this place, there's no minor league ballpark that can compare really to it, or environment. So what's the closest?
Hey,
Major leagues.
You took a little walk today now. Went over and saw the indoor facility that Arkansas built.
Oh, my.
It's first class.
Yeah. It's impressive. It really is. You're a high schooler or a junior college player that has an opportunity to play in an environment like this, and then you have that indoor facility. When it's cold in January and February, there are no canceled days.
Just across the parking lot, completed just a few years ago. But, I mean, they can, in essence, play a game in there. I mean, it's not the size of a full outfield, but it's a full infield with a real mound.
It's impressive.
It's phenomenal. Seems like we get more foul balls today.
Yes.
You're going to see a lot of these guys being attacked late now with pitches up. We already saw 2 strikeouts, 1 by each team. Pitches up in the zone. Didn't bite.
Mississippi State's trying to play its way into the NCAA tournament. They've got Kentucky coming up at 5 o'clock on the SEC Network. And we're back here tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern for the finale of this series. Hellman draws the leadoff walk, and that'll bring Cole Bedford up. By the way, we're talking about those guys, Dansby Swanson, Alex Bregman. He's got a national world championship to his name, and Andrew Benintendi being drafted and getting to the big leagues. This year's draft begins on June 4th, and there are a number of teams that will still be playing on that Monday if their regional goes to a Game 7 or if they have any weather issues. And that's always a challenge between the college game and the pro ranks, is where do you put the draft that it doesn't interrupt the college season, but also at the same time allows professional ranks to populate their teams and get guys to the big leagues as soon as they can.
Started on a Tuesday. Just started on a Tuesday. I mean, I think from a respect standpoint to college baseball, it makes a lot more sense because nobody's playing. That's the Tuesday after regionals. Everybody should be done. I mean, there are situations, and it happened last year with Alex Faedo, who ended up going to the first round of the Detroit Tigers.
Push to the right side. Murphy will handle it, and the sacrifice moves Hellman into scoring position.
But there's situations where ultimately you're making one of the more important financial decisions you may have to make in your entire life as to whether or not you're willing to sign for X, whatever X is, literally during one of the most important games that you're going to play the entire season. I think it's something that if we just move it back a day, started on a Tuesday, those discussions can happen differently. This is the most recent mock draft. Casey Mize got knocked around a little bit last night, but kind of the universal #1 overall pick, regardless of who you talk to. Brady Singer, Alec Boehm from Omaha.
Wow.
Yeah, I knew you were going there. I like that kid from Oregon State, Nick Mandrigal.
He's a star.
I like him. Plays
Big.
with the grit of like Fernando Vina, the type of guy.
Like it. Played with
On the
Nando.
right side.
Gates off the bag will win the race in a monster collision. And Shoemake, who's been hit by a pitch twice in the last 2 days, goes down hard.
You usually see one of the two, the defender or the runner, slide on the bag to avoid contact right there, but both of them were relentless going towards the bag. That's good to see right there. He gets up.
He has been battling a back injury. This will not help.
But you can see Gates, too. He wasn't even looking at the runner. I mean, he's just trying to get there as fast as he possibly can. And if you get there early enough, you tap the bag and get out of the way. That time had to finish all the way through it just because he wanted to make sure that he could get the out. Shoemake, if he didn't get down, there's just nowhere to go there.
Usually a play the first baseman slides to the bag.
Yeah.
Avoids contact.
Hellman advanced to third on the ground out. This is Hunter Coleman. And a first pitch strike. You know, Kyle, I don't know if you've considered this, but in terms of Major League Draft, you could also, I don't know, maybe move it to Omaha, run it in conjunction with the College World Series.
Wouldn't that be something? Start it the week before the College World Series, let it run right into it. That'd be all right. Pretty cool if they played a Major League game in Omaha someday, too.
It's not a bad idea. They've got the ballpark for it. Played a big league game at the Little League World Series last year, right?
And that was
they're
cool
doing
now.
it again this year.
That was cool. That day was one of my favorite baseball days I've ever been involved in. See the Major Leaguers come into Williamsport, hang out with the kids during the course of the day, then to play an actual big league game that night.
Cardinals Pirates last year. It'll be Mets Phillies this year.
Early in spring training, spoke with a couple of the Mets players about playing in that Little League game, and they're excited.
Oh, yeah.
They're excited to go there.
I mean, Eddie, you saw big leaguers turn into kids the minute that they got in the environment. They took all the kids over to the airports, and when both teams landed, they jumped on the bus with the two Major League teams when they come over the ballpark. It was really well done by everybody, and I commend Major League Baseball for embracing it that much. Players did it. The organizations embraced it. All the kids got to go on the field before the game. Think about some of these kids, and I mean, they're from all around the world. That may be the only Major League game that they ever get a chance to see, and they get to walk on the field before it. Spot.
Tell you what, they're killing the budget when it comes to baseballs today. A lot of foul balls.
Yeah, we might have to run up, grab a few more dozen they thought they were going to need today.
Already 58 pitches through 2 2/3 of inning of work.
He's only given up one hit.
Coleman frozen. Second K for Murphy. He's allowed one hit through 3 innings in Arkansas, trying to take the series up by 1. To join these programs since 1996 to win the national title in back-to-back years. Ray Tanner's squad did it with drama in 2010 and 2011. Pat Casey's Beavers were homegrown and talented. They won it 06 and 07. And LSU won it back-to-back years, 96 and 97.
About South Carolina won it the last year it was in Rosenblatt, and the first year it was in TD. Ray Tanner now the athletic director at South Carolina. Gamecocks been playing better now. Missouri got him last night, but the last month South Carolina's been on fire.
This is Heston Kjerstad, 3-hole hitters, looking for his first hit this series. He is 0 for 6. Kjerstad had a miserable game against LSU last week. Second game of the series, 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts. But Eddie, he bounced back from it. He had a great game the next day. How tough is that mentally to flush an 0 for 5 with 5 Ks?
Very tough, and that just speaks so highly of Heston so far this season, being able to make adjustments like that right there.
Slices it the opposite way. It's going to hit the gap and go all the way to the fence. The freshman Kjerstad will stop at second. Second leadoff double today for Arkansas.
Where after rolling over and fouling one off, foul, makes the adjustment during the at-bat, goes to right center field. This young kid understands what hitting's about. Tried to stay away from slumps. We talked about that 0 for 5 with 5 Ks. But right here, watch when he rounds. This ball's in front of him. And he'll learn as time goes on, you can be your own coach. You don't have to look at the third base coach in that situation. Continue, the ball's in front of you, you make the decision. But nicely done on the offensive side.
Luke Bonfield to the plate with a runner in scoring position. Got hit in the foot his first time up. Senior from Silman, New Jersey, played his high school ball at IMG Academy in Florida.
This situation right here, guys, I don't want Luke to try to just move him over. No outs, you're the cleanup hitter. Find a pitch you can drive, trade places with Kjerstad at second base. Left on right, advantage Bonfield.
Curveball lifted to right. Morris racing towards the corner and runs out of room.
This is a classic case right here. 1-1 count. He's thinking going the other way. Look where this pitch is. If he's thinking drive this ball, he could be hitting it into the bleachers in left field. Instead, tries to go the other way, forcing it, and now he's behind in the count 1-2, and he has to throw that thought process out the window and now just protect the zone.
What role did the count have in that decision-making process? It was a 1-1 pitch that he was trying to go opposite way with.
In this at-bat, it really shouldn't even come into play. You're the cleanup hitter. Right here, I would love for you to trade places with them. Drive a pitch that you can handle. Even if it's 0-0 or 0-1, I want you to look for something out over the plate.
To the right side, this will advance the runner. It is a productive out.
No doubt, it's a productive out.
So one down to Carson Shadia.
Now you get a guy in Shaddy that can get it airborne. Thought process for Shaddy, drive that ball out somewhere out on the green, see if you can get Kjerstad in to score. Hit one of the seats yesterday.
I wouldn't throw him anything good.
By the way, there's a big series in the ACC at the AAA ballpark in Durham. Duke trying to take that series. They lead North Carolina 4-1 in the 6th. To third, tag, got him. What a play by Yansha. Kjerstad came too far off the bag, and Yansha found an opening.
That's a great play.
Yes, it is.
By Yansha. Look at him right here. Doesn't hesitate whatsoever. The young freshman commits, freezes, and is caught at third base. I thought Yansha was going to come up quick and try to go to first base because Shaddy just stood there at the plate. Look, he's not even in the picture yet. He comes up with it, throws over to first base. He could get himself a double play.
As a base runner, what's your responsibility when contact is made?
Go back. You have all the time in the world. Ground ball to third base. Your third base coach is telling you, anything up the middle, you can go. Anything down the line, you stay. But right there, your instincts have to bring you back to the bag and force Yansha to throw that ball to first.
Arkansas really struggled with runners in scoring position in the LSU series. It's really been an issue for them all season, to be honest. Bedford thought about throwing to first. Succeeded in getting Shaddy's uniform dirty. Dove back to the bag. held on by Coleman.
He's got an assortment of sliders, hasn't he? Right there, 2-0.
Yeah, he can flatten them out. He can add a little bit of depth to it. He can add and subtract from a velocity standpoint. He uses the pitches in two different ways. That was kind of the get me over 2-0, steal a strike pitch, and then when he gets into a strikeout count, you'll see more depth, so the ball will have more down to it instead of that side to side. Comes another one.
Wonder if Fletcher will ever commit to that slider. Still looking fastball. Hasn't really gotten one. Not even the first at bat or this one.
I'd be shocked if he doesn't see another one here.
I'm with you.
Arkansas club that doesn't run much. Of their starters, Casey Martin leads them with 6 stolen bases. Shaddy 3 for 5 on the year. Quick pitched him a little.
Neither one of these teams bothers with the stolen base very often. This is 40 attempts for Arkansas and 41 for A&M. Swing and a miss to finish him off. Doxakis has 4 Ks. We'll talk with his head coach, Rob Childress, about what's on the line for A&M this weekend when we return. One-run game here in Arkansas, top of the 4th inning. Tom Hart, Eduardo Perez, Kyle Peterson in the booth. Happen to be joined by Rob Childress, the A&M head coach. Coach, this is another typical SEC series in that it's knockdown, drag out, but it's different in this sense for you and your staff. You've got a real friend over in the other dugout in Dave Van Horn, a guy you've known for a very long time. How does that change the series and how you approach it or how you feel after a given game?
Well, it doesn't really change at all. I mean, once the game starts, it's all about baseball and managing the game. Dave's just been so great to us as equals, as all the guys that are over here that played for him back in the day. I mean, he's just been such a huge influence. He's got an amazing tree of coaches and young men that he's really impacted throughout his career.
Rob, against a guy like Casey Murphy that fills up the strike zone, offensively, what do you tell your guys about approach?
Well, we just got to be ready to hit. He's going to throw it over the plate, really fastball slider mix. He's used the changeup only once or twice, and we certainly had a chance there in the first inning to break the game open, and we hit a ball hard, and their third baseman and their catcher makes a great play, and they come right back and lead the game off with a double and get him in scoring position. We made a great play by Yancha last inning to keep it at 1-0, so, it's just another knockdown dragout, like you said.
Coach, do you have enough ice for Braden Shoemake? So far he's been getting hit all around.
Well, he has. I mean, he's just showed a lot. His body language, I think, has been what's the greatest thing of all. I mean, he's shown a lot of great body language through these incidents we've had so far today.
Coach, thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Head coach Rob Childress, fresh off of a trip to Omaha in the College World Series last year.
You got to work for all of them, but that was one to where A&M was not expected to host a super regional. They went on the road to the Houston Regional. Davidson knocks off a national seed in North Carolina. They end up hosting Davidson. And got to Omaha, they didn't play very well. And it surprised me a little bit. The 2 games that they were there, it did not look like the A&M team that we had seen a lot during the course of the season.
This one yanked to left field on a sinking line drive. It's handled by Kjerstad.
That's not an easy play because the wind's blowing, that ball's knuckling a little bit, so it's going to knock it down. And Kjerstad, who struggled with one yesterday in that wind, when he had to go glove side and go get it, the ball kind of got in on him. That time, slid, kept his head quiet when he went all the way down. But the ball was hit so cleanly, knuckle into that wind is going to knock it down a little bit further. That's well done and left.
from my experience, having played in the outfield, between left field, center field, and right field.
Nice play. Kenley, strong throw.
It's the hardest position to play as an outfielder, especially if you're right-handed. Ball always tends to go away from your glove towards the right side of your body, and that right there was a beautiful play in shortstop. Watch right here, gets a nice jump, backhands, and then shows the strength of his arm. Kenley showing his skills on his backhand.
Dave Van Horn said he is their best defender, will likely be their starting shortstop next season. He said if you take any of our guys out and you hit him 100 ground balls, he's going to have the highest success rate because he is so strong technically. He's able to repeat all of his movements, and he's fundamentally sound. To his double play partner, Shaddy did not beat him. Zach DeLoach hustles down the line. And a bobble by Shaddy looks like it's going to give A&M a base runner.
Watch Shaddy's footwork right here. Stay with his feet. Already squares up, doesn't move him at all, commits to dropping to a knee, and the ball plays him. Gets the in-between.
Arkansas has not challenged it.
Surprised we're not challenging this one here.
Force plays are reviewable in SEC play. They are not reviewable in NCAA postseason play. I don't understand that part, but that's conversation for another time. George Yoncha had an 11-pitch at-bat his first time up. He ended up striking out on a high fastball. Is he asking him about being quick-pitched? I don't know what he took a ball, then had a conversation with the home plate umpire.
He's talking about dinner. 1 o'clock start. They get a little bit more time tonight, trying to figure out the right place to go.
Good luck getting a reservation graduation weekend. We're still looking for help. Foul territory. Gates. Nice catch in the stands. See the key there? Kept his sunglasses on. They do you no good on your hat.
Tell you what, he's a big man on campus around that area now.
Yeah, no, it was easy. I mean, it just went up.
Ball barehanded.
That's what I do. I just make plays. Ball goes up, shaded the sun, made the play. It's pretty simple.
She smeared her lipstick. All good.
When's the last time you saw a pitcher with stirrups and the pants hiked up?
With stirrups.
I mean, he's got the
like
entire look.
Stirrups.
They are.
You don't see that very much anymore, do you?
I didn't know they made them anymore.
Did you wear them at college?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we did too.
Oh, yes. Those aren't Sannies, though, underneath
No.
the stirrups.
Looks like he grabbed one out of the back of the truck on the way today. Came in a sock short,
even
grabbed
match.
an extra one.
What are we doing?
I like it. That's my speed right there.
You know what he screams? Lefty.
College. That is beautiful.
What are we doing? If you're going to wear the stirrups,
They
get me
fit.
some Sannies.
They fit.
What do you mean they fit?
They fit. They may be clean.
It could be.
Oh, man, that's just a bad look right there.
I'm all in on that. I might do that tomorrow.
Those are tube socks. I'm glad I'm not hitting. I couldn't focus up there right now.
Listen, you can use tube socks for anything. You could tie a muffler up with them if you wanted to.
Pitch.
Strikes out Yacha again. This is a look at the hog pen. General admission seating. You can bring your own lawn chair and you can bring your own cooler. Great place to watch baseball today. They are jammed.
Eddie, I got another one for you that you got to go see. You got to go to Ole Miss.
Okay.
And see the Solo Cup race. So you know, like the President's race or the sausage race.
Right.
Ole Miss, we got the Solo Cup race.
Like the red Solo Cups?
Red, blue, what is it, Hart? Red, blue, and yellow?
Yes.
Yellow's never won. So I was blue one time.
Come on.
Why? Why would I make that up?
No, seriously. While you were broadcasting the game?
No, day before. And it was athletic. Kicked my heels in the middle of it.
Did you win?
I don't remember. I think I did.
Hold on.
You That's the first time you're into your cups?
I think I did win. Yellow didn't win. I had tube socks on. Made me faster.
You had tube socks on? Really? No
sandals?
You didn't have sandals?
I did.
Well, I want no part of that race.
Come on.
Oh.
That sounds like something we should put on ESPN Plus. Do we have video evidence of this race?
It exists somewhere, yeah.
Full count to Grant Cook, the 7-hole hitter. He was 0 for 1 to the ground out to short. You could have stopped, by the way, with just selling Eddie on the idea of going to Ole Miss for a series. Just period. Just Oxford, Mississippi.
Good point.
Period.
That's a solid point. I haven't been to Oxford this year.
Looks like they'll be home through the Supers, right?
Yeah, pretty good start to the weekend for Ole Miss. Took the first two against Auburn, beat the presumed #1 overall pick in the draft, Casey Mize, yesterday. Leadoff walk here for Cook.
That was a great take, 3-2. See a lot of guys chase that 3-2 pitch off speed. You got two lefties coming up behind him. Texakis decided to go with the off-speed pitch there.
There's another town that's turned into a great place to watch some college baseball this season. That's Cookeville, Tennessee, Busch Stadium. Head coach Matt Braga has Tennessee Tech rocking. Leading the country in home runs. It's the second team in the nation to hit over 100 home runs in a single season since we switched to BB Core bats 7 years ago.
They're leading the country in home runs by like 30.
Yeah. They had a 28-game winning streak. They've only made 5 NCAA regionals in their history. Last year, they made it as the Ohio Valley Tournament champion. They did beat Florida State last year in the Tallahassee region.
Yeah. Game 1. Then Florida State had to battle all the way back through the losers bracket to win that regional.
Come into this weekend leading the nation in batting average, home runs, runs scored. Trivia time. What do you think their nickname is? Tennessee Tech. They beat your team last year.
Miners.
Ooh.
No?
I don't know if there are a lot of mines in Tennessee. Not that I'm aware of.
Tube socks.
The Fighting Tube Socks.
No.
The Fighting Tube Socks, no?
Could be a minor league team.
Still better than Rumble Ponies. Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles.
Oh,
You didn't give us enough time.
jeez.
The head coach played at Kentucky back in the early 90s. Matt Braga, last year's Ohio Valley Coach of the Year.
Nice thing this year for Tennessee Tech, they're not going to have to win the postseason tournament. I mean, they're in.
Yeah.
They are absolutely in.
And that offers you, not only are you in and you're comfortable, but that offers you a lot of flexibility with your pitching staff.
Absolutely. Beat Vanderbilt in the non-conference last week.
Back-to-back walks from John Daxakis. Cook to second, and Jared Gates is aboard. 42-6 of the top 25 RPI. D1 Baseball currently has them as a 2 seed, and I can't think of anybody that wants to see Tennessee Tech come into their ballpark for a regional.
108 home runs. Clemson is second with 77. So that's the gap between 1 and 2
Yikes.
right now from a power standpoint. You run them into a smaller ballpark. You imagine them at Lubbock. Send them to Lubbock as a 2 seed in that ballpark. Yeah, Clemson was 77. Arkansas third was 75. How about the power in the SEC this year? 75 home runs, 72 home runs. Florida, a drastically different offense than it was last year. I think that's what makes them even more dangerous.
Jonathan India has a lot to do with that.
Yeah, 16 home runs. Will Dalton has 16 home runs, a junior college transfer.
Rob Childress will scramble his bullpen here with nobody out in the bottom of the 4th.
This one is not a discussion about dinner. This one's a little bit more direct now. We just went back-to-back walks, and we got to spin this thing.
Introducing ESPN Plus, your home for more sports, more schools, more conferences, more ESPN. You can stream ESPN Plus exclusively on the ESPN app for just $4.99 a month. Sign up now for ESPN Plus. Devil's Den State Park here in the Natural State. We're in the northwest corner of Arkansas. And the Razorbacks, one of the top teams in college baseball, at the ballpark that Baseball America says is the best college ballpark in the country, and it's tough to argue. Perfectly placed bunt. Yancha handles it, and the Razorbacks have 2 in scoring position with 1 down.
This well executed right here by Jack Henley. Similar pretty much to the pitch that hit their shortstop yesterday, Jax. You look at it right here, this ball almost hits him in the chest if he misses it. Makes Yancha field it, has to throw it on the run.
And ideally, I mean, he wants Yancha to field that ball. That's not an easy one to get down the third baseline. I mean,
No.
the ball that's coming in on you, it's a lot easier to take it with him, but you want Yancha to vacate. He has to come make that play. Both base runners are going to move up easily.
So back to the top of the order, and Eric Cole, who has a team best 12 home runs.
Oh, I love the way A&M is playing their defense right now. Not playing the middle in. Still a lot of opportunity to score runs.
And in that middle, you got Shoemaker, Michael Hellman, the shortstop, and the second baseman, but still playing at a depth that if it's a rocket, they can still go home.
Cole pops it up. Hellman and Coleman. It is Hellman who takes over. 2 down.
And Eric Cole, as good as a hitter as he's been all season long, right here makes a common mistake, trying to elevate this ball. Hit it up in the air. His swing is already patented for that. See right here, tries to get under it to lift and at least get 1 run in. And what he does, he collapses even further, gets a pop-up in the infield. Just try to get a ball out in front and drive it. That right there, your swing is already patented enough to hit that ball in the air.
Casey Martin is 0 for 2. Arkansas' situational hitting leaves a lot to be desired for a team that's so good offensively overall. Once again, struggling in that regard. They are 1 for 10 with runners on today. They are 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Trying to squeeze it.
I don't like it. Not with an 0-1 count. If it's 0-0, it's 1-0, I don't mind it, but now you put yourself in a whole 0-2. This just tells you Martin right now is not seeing the ball well. Today, 0 for 2, a strikeout, and a ground ball to the shortstop.
Doxakis got him to chase. It's a second strikeout for Martin. And Arkansas has stranded 7 through 4 innings. They got the win last night behind Blaine Knight. He's 8-0. See how he responds to putting a headset on. We'll talk to him after this. What's up, Blaine? How are you?
Good, how are you?
We're good. You can hear us okay?
A little bit.
You want it to be louder?
Yeah, it's going to come up a little bit.
Okay. We'll work on it. Well, last night, Blaine Knight was up to his old tricks. The Duck Hunter just kept shooting down Aggie after Aggie. 11 Ks, didn't walk a batter over 7 innings. And Arkansas's ace improved to 8-0 on the season. Looked pretty good as we're watching the highlights, and Blaine is kind enough to don a headset for us. How you feeling today after that dominating performance last night?
I feel pretty good. A little sore, but nothing out of the ordinary.
What's it like? Explain to our viewers, if you could, taking the mound on a Friday night in the SEC, because thus far this season, you are great in your own right, but you've also got wins head-to-head with some of the best pitchers in college baseball and guys that are going to go really, really high in the draft.
Oh, yeah, you know, I mean, Friday nights in the SEC, I mean, you're getting everybody's best shot. You're facing everybody's best guy, you know. So, I mean, I got to come out. I got to have all my stuff working. I've got to stay under control and stay competitive and compete for as long as I can for the team and let the team take care of the rest.
So, Blaine, you can't see this, but we're showing some guys that you beat this year. Singer, Rollison, Mize. Last night, the guy that came into the game as the SEC ERA leader. Do you get any more dialed up when you know who's on the other side standing on the mound?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I try to stay pretty even keel, but, you know, when you're facing guys like Mize and Singer and Rawson and, you know, all those guys, you know, they're, you know, I mean, their names are huge, you know, so, I mean, you get a little more excited about it, and, you know, I've always tried to go out and prove something, and, you know, prove whatever I can prove. You know, when I go against those guys, I'm just trying to prove I'm just as good as them and try to go out and win.
How are you better now than you were your freshman year?
Maturity. You know, I mean, yeah, the stuff's gotten a little better and everything. Just pitching in the league for 3 years now and just knowing, you know, what to expect. I know nothing ever shocks me anymore. You know, I'm under control at all times. You know, it's just that's probably been my biggest thing has helped me a lot is maturity.
Blaine, I came in yesterday and I asked a lot of people, well, I explained who Blaine Knight is, and they said fastball, slider, occasionally the curveball. Yesterday, that curveball was a money pitch for you. It's continued to develop. How hard has it been for you to trust that pitch like you did yesterday?
You know, I mean, it's been a little difficult to just throw it. You know, it's a new pitch for me. I picked it up in the fall. You know, I've had really good days with it, and I've had days that aren't so good with it. You know, so it's been kind of a flip of a coin. But you know, this past week in the bullpen, it was the best it's felt, and I really got a really good feel for it, and I felt really confident coming in with it, and I plan on keeping it that way.
After a leadoff double for Chandler Morris, Michael Hellman is at the plate. Away from the ballpark, what's your favorite activity?
Well, it depends on the season, but right now it would by far be fishing.
You're a big duck hunter too, right?
Yes, sir.
That time of year. So we know, baseball people know, it's pretty simple. You strike out 11, you don't walk a batter. That's a great day on the mound. What constitutes a great morning duck hunting?
Well,
what's the number?
Well, it depends on where you're at, but I mean, if we're going by state limits here, I mean, I'm planning on having 6 ducks and being done by 7:30.
Attaboy, lemon out early and go home. I love that. That was well played, by the way, because your first instinct was to say more than 6.
Yeah, well,
the state limit.
I'm trying not to get in trouble.
Come on, Hart. You're going to get him in trouble.
No, we can't have that. Who's the best hunter on the team?
You know, I'm gonna say Hunter Wilson. That guy, we call him Cowboy for a reason. He's an Oklahoma kid, and Spyro. That's about all they do is just hunt, fish every day, and just do whatever. So I mean, he has a lot more crazier stories than I got. That's for sure.
Has he introduced you to anything different than what you're used to growing up here in Arkansas?
No, sir, not really. He's a little more into turkey hunting than I am, but other than that, we pretty much we all hunt the same thing. I've hunted with Hunter quite a bit, and we always have a good time.
Look at this arm by Fletcher. Wow. Tell us what you think of Dominic Fletcher as a defender.
I've said it a million times. That's the best center fielder in the country, 100%. That guy, he's got an unreal arm. He gets best reads of anybody I've ever seen, So, I mean, I'm really happy he's on my team and on nobody else's.
Yeah, we're seeing the combination right now in the replay of the way he charged that ball. Great read, and again, talk about a straight, great throw. No need for a cutoff right there. Nobody else on base. He's showing it off accurate as can be.
So 2 down here in the 5th. We've got Blaine Knight, the Arkansas ace, on the headset with us. Baseball America a couple of weeks ago named Baum Stadium the best stadium in college baseball. You guys have an opportunity in front of you to be a top 8 national seed. How important would it be for you in this program to be able to host all the way through to Omaha, and is that something that you guys have discussed as a goal?
Oh, I mean, it's a goal of ours. I mean, as anybody else's, you want to be a national seed. So, I mean, it's there, it's in the back of our minds. But I mean, right now we're focused on winning games, and we win games, it'll take care of itself.
Yeah, if you keep winning, that means you get to fish at home all the way through.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
You know all the spots around here. You go on the road, you got to work a little bit more.
You do. Yeah, Uber gets kind of expensive when I go on the road trying to fish.
I like it.
So you take your equipment with you on the road?
I do. I have. There's a couple guys on the team. We have travel rods and stuff that fold up and fit in our suitcase, and we'll bring one little sleeve of whatever we have and go give it a shot when we have off time.
That's beautiful. Great game for you last night, and your buddy Dominic's going to handle the 3rd out here. Thanks for your time, Blaine.
Hey, thank y'all. Appreciate it.
See you down the road. 8-0 on the season. Blaine Knight, the Arkansas ace, and the Razorbacks in front in a pitcher's duel here today. 1-0 Hogs. Casey Murphy has only allowed 2 hits over 5. Both bullpens should be in great shape. Jake Reindl went 2 in relief last night for Arkansas. Asa Lacey and Chandler Joswak both threw last night for Texas A&M. Heston Kjerstad to the plate. He was having an oofda kind of series until his double last time up. Family of Norwegian descent, KP. That was for you.
That's where thank you. Sorry I missed that, Tom. See if they stay with a slider. First 2 at-bats was slider, slider, slider. Flew out to left field and doubled into left center.
Well hit. Left center again. Foster, 1 down.
I love the approach that he's had today, Eddie. I mean, the ball that he hit to left field in the first at bat was hit well after he swung through sliders. Then he doubles to left center field. That one he just missed. It was off the end of the bat, but the intent for what it seemed like he knew he was going to see. He's seen all left-on-left sliders up to that point and just missed hitting that one in the seats.
Yeah, you have to commit to one side of the plate. He's committed to that outer half with the slider, trying to stay on it.
Under Doxakis' glove. Shoemate can't reach it. And Bonfield has his first hit of the day. Sunday on ABC we'll have Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. It's a rematch of last year's Eastern Conference Final. Cavs Celtics from Boston at 3:30 Eastern. Our coverage will begin at 3 Eastern with NBA Countdown presented by Straight Talk Wireless. As always, everything is live on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. Interesting last week after LeBron's buzzer beater against the Raptors. I heard Kevin Love talking about the fact that LeBron practices every single shot in every scenario. And it reminded me of great major league infielders who not only practice the routine, but they also practice the spectacular. So when that opportunity arises in the game, they've done it before. And Brandon Phillips was one of those guys that I always watch. He's making these spectacular plays all the time, and he was asked about it one time, and he's like, well, that doesn't just happen. I work on it.
Remember that between the leg in Cincinnati one time, Brandon Phillips. Defensively, what a wizard.
Andrelton Simmons the same way. I mean, yes, he has the athletic ability to make amazing plays, but it's because he spends so much time on the field that he sees those opportunities.
Yeah, and everybody calls them instincts, and what it is, he just thinks about the play, practices it, and wants to make sure he's always prepared for the unexpected.
And so you cross that over into basketball, and LeBron hits a running bank shot to win a game at the buzzer.
He was so good in that series also against Indiana, just phenomenal.
Missed away to Shaddy. 2-1.
How about the job Brad Stevens has done in Boston, too? All the injuries.
I
agree, Kyle.
And didn't get a vote for Coach of the Year.
Yeah. I agree, Kyle.
Thanks, guys. I was just trying to add to the NBA component of this broadcast.
I'm ever looking for NBA news and insight. I turn to a guy who once dressed up as a solo cup and ran around on a baseball field.
Makes sense. I don't know if you knew this, Tom and Eduardo, but I don't know if you did either. I had a career-high 7 points on senior night at Creighton Prep High School. Mom came out for the game, gave her flowers, dropped 7 on Omaha Northwest. Should have had 9. I got fouled. I'd have made the free throws. They didn't call it. Do you know that? I don't know if I had ever told you.
At least you've let it go.
I do, though.
Huh? Big night.
Stay by the phone, waiting for the call.
NBA draft, yes.
That's a good pitch. Pitch outside, but it's a pitch that Hank Kimmonen behind the plate was calling early in the game.
Aggies dugout asking about it.
Runner.
You told us a story yesterday about waiting by the phone for the MLB draft coming out of high school. It never rang. Did you wait by the phone during the NBA draft too?
No, I have declared myself eligible for the NBA draft before, but nobody ever called.
Runner goes. Shoemake backhand. Gets the lead runner anyway. It was a tough play by all involved. 2 down.
And a gutsy play right there by Shoemake throwing it. Runner in motion. It was hit so hard. It was still an opportunity. See the runner already in right of your picture. Makes the play, and as a second baseman, you see that. Shaddy gets down the line pretty good. Second baseman, the runner at second barreling in. You can just become like a first baseman, catch and get out of the way.
Rob Childress is going to come out and argue this, but I think the slide is just fine. You can go into the base, you can go through the base. In college baseball, it's not like the major league rule if you can reach the base. You do have to go directly into the base, but it looked like a good, clean, hard slide by Bonfield, just not enough time for Hellman to get out of the way.
We saw that rule come into play in the championship series last year between LSU and Florida.
Yeah. Jake Slaughter, the base runner. Would have tied the ball game. Runners on first and third, nobody out. Instead, it's a double play. Florida would get out of it, go on to win a national title.
Here's Dominic Fletcher. Great defensive work today, but still looking for his first hit out of Cypress High School in California. Older brother David played at Loyola Marymount. Now in the minors in the Angels organization. Arkansas made a California trip early in the season, and it turned out to be one of the worst things for Fletcher. Playing in front of a bunch of guys he knew. They took on Arizona back on February 21st in San Diego, then Cal Poly. They played at San Diego State and at USD. Yancha runs into the railing. What an effort, and it goes somersaulting over the railing and into the dugout.
Great effort by Yancha. Looks like he'll be okay, but the wind carried that baseball. Foul, and they get him some water.
Nice.
I like that.
Oh, yeah.
Got a little hit on the way out.
This ball with no wind should be caught around here. Instead, keeps drifting. And the flip. It's amazing how no one gets around there, huh, when you're a visiting team.
Yeah, you don't have quite as much help on that side of the diamond.
All you're going to get is a little bit of water.
That was nice. I mean, it was a nice touch on the way out. If he'd have caught it, I don't think they'd have done that.
Here's how it wrapped up with some high quality H2O. Can we get him some water? Gotcha. Fletcher golfs it into center. His counterpart, Zach DeLoach. That'll close the fifth. It's a 1-0 Arkansas game. Middle of the order, due up for A&M. There's nothing like it. TD Ameritrade, smack dab in America's heartland, home of the College World Series around the country. Stanford and Oregon State battling in the Pac-12. Beavers won last night 6-2. Duke is trying to take the series from North Carolina. They returned to the NCAA tournament last year. They went to College World Series back in 1961. And Florida's taken the series from Georgia. They've clinched at least a share of the regular season title with their win today. In the American, Jekyll and Hyde Houston swept a doubleheader from UConn.
Yeah, Jekyll and Hyde is right. They swept East Carolina at East Carolina. Now a chance to sweep UConn with a win. Houston has played themselves back into the tournament.
That series is being played in Hartford. The brand new ballpark downtown Hartford. Dunkin' Donuts Park, home of
Yard Goats.
all of our friends that live and work within a stone's throw of that ballpark. Has anybody ever presented you with a Yard Goats hat or t-shirt?
Nope.
Me neither.
No.
Kind of feel like it's too late now. Take a Hartford Wolfpack t-shirt. Fly ball to right field. Hunter Coleman retired. Sunday Night Baseball coming your way with Arizona and Washington. Bryce Harper and A.J. Pollock. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern on ESPN with Baseball Tonight, Sunday Night Countdown, both streaming live on the ESPN app. It's Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell.
So I think it's Zach Godley going for Arizona. 2013 draft. Only two. Zach Godley was a draft and file, or excuse me, a senior sign from Tennessee. Was the third guy from that draft to get to the big leagues.
Wow.
Chris Bryant, Michael Lorenzen, and Godley, a 10th rounder, taken as a senior.
You just won the trivia portion of today's event.
Well, it's a lot easier if you make the question up yourself.
Yes, fair. It looked like, Eduardo, that Bryce Harper in the leadoff spot was going to work. Some great power early, but he's hitting just 190 in the month of May.
Yeah, struggled a bit, and I think it's a big adjustment when you're there because you start taking a little bit more pitches. At the beginning, you saw the power, home run. He was loving what Dave Martinez did, but really struggled. Went 0 for 19 in a stretch. Had a day off. Put him back up there, but not been big and high on guys that have always been in the 3-4 spot. All of a sudden, teams putting them up in the 1 spot.
What was the mindset
Rizzo,
to move him there?
On base percentage. You get more pitches. They feel like you put the hitter to hit in the 8th position, and then you put a position player to hit in the 9 hole. That way, at least you'll get somebody on base the second time around. More opportunities. Yet, there's something to be said about comfort zone.
Well, he did hit 5 home runs in the leadoff spot since being moved there.
Oh, he'll hit his home runs.
Yeah. By the way, Max Scherzer retired the final 15 batters he faced yesterday. Max Scherzer, Michael Wacha were both aces contending teams at A&M and Missouri back in the day. To left. Steven Strasburg's pitching today. He's had a pretty good run at San Diego State.
Look at that year. 195 strikeouts, 19 walks for Strasburg his junior year. So the comparison of Casey Mize, who's expected to be the #1 overall pick in the draft this year. Mize strikeout to walk ratio was 17-1 going into last night. He walked a guy last night. Guy.
Jeez.
Walked a guy last night, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. Mize took the loss, but still has had statistically an incredible season for Auburn.
Logan Foster at the plate. That comparison relevant because Steven Strasburg is the last pitcher or last player of any position to be undrafted out of high school and go 1-1 out of college. That was Strasburg in 09 out of San Diego State. One of just 6, including names like Chris Benson and Andy Bennis. And Casey Mize trying to repeat that. Undrafted out of high school, goes to Auburn for 3 years. And he's a guy you think could be ready to get to the big leagues first out of that draft class or close to it.
Close, yeah. I think you can move him as fast as you want to move him. I mean, think about this. If you're the Tigers, you could have Mize and Faedo both on the fast track to the big leagues. Alex Faedo has been great so far in the Florida State League. Casey Murphy's been great so far today for Arkansas. 1-0 Hog, bottom of 6.
2 of this series between 2 of the top teams in college baseball in a pitcher's duel. Arkansas leads A&M 1-0 in the bottom of the 6th. Some Aggie fans have made the trip over. Fantastic fan base. 12th man on the road. Be time for a nap. Greg Cook, the catcher, batting in the 7-hole, leads off. John Doxakis has been very deliberate with his pace today, and that was one of the concerns for him coming into this program. He was a guy, as a high school pitcher, that really had to work from a tempo standpoint to create velocity. Then when he grew into his body, the Aggie coaches have said, hold on a second. You're over 6 feet tall, 200 pounds now. You can create velocity thanks to your own strength. Two and two now to Cook.
He's a guy, Tommy, I get the feeling, and we haven't seen much of a changeup. It's more fastball slider, but I just think he's going to pitch for a while, man. Rob Childress is really high on him. Really high on him. And Rob Childress knows arms. Said he's got a chance to be one of the better left-handers that Rob's ever had.
Well, he throws any pitch, any count.
Yep.
Has that confidence, and you look at the composure on the mound. It's there for a sophomore. A lot of confidence on that mound, both against righties and lefties, and not afraid to pitch inside.
Well hit, deep left field. Foster back. It is going to be knocked down by the wind. And a catch made at the wall. Well, Doc Sakis comes from a family that knows pitching. His dad is a longtime pitching coach. Learned at the foot of guru Tom House. And something that they've talked about years when it comes to mechanics, nutrition, the mental and emotional side of pitching, and a lot of the scientific theories that go behind it. Those aren't necessarily traditional teaching methods, but he is well versed in the science of pitching. Low to Jared Gates, 2-0.
Watch his index finger of Gates. This is why I said with Jax Biggers yesterday, when he got hit in that finger or fracture the tip of the finger, that he could come back pretty quick from it. Left-handed hitter, that's Biggers. That's there. You see his finger. Right-handed thrower. Watch the index. Always floating, so you won't get any vibration, and it won't affect him on the offensive standpoint.
Did you hit that way? Was your top hand index finger off?
No. Actually, the bottom hand index finger for mine was off, but hitting for a hitting standpoint, you really don't need the index finger.
Doesn't affect back control at all?
No.
Well, then cut it off. Don't need it.
We don't need to go to that. We need to sign autographs.
There you go.
Right here, see? Just floating. No need. Nice bat path. Just got on top of it a little bit.
So 2 down. Doc Sakis at 95 pitches now. That's Jax Biggers, Arkansas starting shortstop, hoping to return for the Georgia series next week. And he's been told that it's just a matter of playing through the pain. I asked him, I said, how many stitches? He said, I don't know how many stitches. I couldn't watch. He said, they're putting it in. I got my eyes closed and my head turned the other way. He's exactly opposite of you, Eddie.
Yeah, Eddie, you'd have asked to stitch it up yourself based on what we heard yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I have a scar right here on my face that collided in the infield. They stitched me up, and I stayed in the game.
You're so hockey.
Yeah. Straight hockey.
Who
would have known you would have known of a Puerto Rican hockey player, huh?
I met one. Cross that off the list.
There it is. Stitched me up. I was in Memphis. Good old Tim McCarver Stadium.
That was turf, wasn't it?
Turf infield,
that was
grass
not,
outfield.
That could not have been a hot infield.
Woo, woo.
Turf in Memphis.
Yeah. Then they built Redbird Stadium downtown. Jax keeps pointing at us.
Saying we're number one.
As you're talking about it.
Got to be antsy to get back in there.
All things considered, it could have been a lot worse. I mean, when we saw it, that entire hand was wrapped around the bat.
First inning last night.
Watch the left hand. Squares the bunt, comes all the way up. That's honestly, I mean, if you're a coach or a kid watching, that's a teaching moment. I mean, that's bury that hand back behind the bat. First thing they teach you when you go to bunt.
Had that cutter thrown in on him.
Kenley battling. And Doxakis dispatches him. John Doxakis has been through the lineup 3 times. He's only allowed 1 run. Welcome back to the SEC on ESPN, the campus of the University of Arkansas, Old Main. 1-0 lead for the Razorbacks on Senior Day and graduation weekend for the Razorbacks. Jake Reindl closed out the game last night. Graduated. Day at the ballpark. Great weekend to bring the kids out. We'll wrap this one up tomorrow on ESPN2 with a 1 o'clock Eastern Time first pitch. Casey Murphy has held Texas A&M scoreless on just 3 hits through 6 innings.
I mean, this guy he'll just kind of lull you to sleep. But you look up in the 6th, 7th, 8th inning, a lot of times he's standing out there. There's not a lot of flash to it. 2 walks, 3 strikeouts from Murphy. He's going to give up his share of hits, but today it's been just 3 of them. He's ideal for this 1-2 punch, a totally different look than you see game 1 from Blaine Knight.
George Johnson was the opening day shortstop for Texas A&M as a true freshman. Makes his home at third now, and his bunt is popped up to Cook.
We'll read a promo time. Sunday on ABC, we'll have game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Rematch last year's Eastern Conference Final. Cavs Celtics from Boston, 3:30 Eastern. Our coverage begins at 3 Eastern with NBA Countdown presented by Straight Talk Wireless. As always, everything's live on the ESPN app, Eduardo, so you can watch anytime. You aware of that? Anytime.
I am. I use the app all the time.
Don't bunt changeups, because then that happens. That last pitch right there to Yancha. Murphy throws a changeup. Yancha has to jab at it when he squares to bunt. Ball goes straight up in the air. It's an easy out.
Not only that, you're flat-footed when you do so.
Yep.
Have to wait for it.
Tom, what'd you think of that read?
That was really good.
Yep, thanks. Stayed up late working on it.
Hooked on phonics. Worked for you. Ball in a strike to Chandler Morris. Florida won today. They knocked off Georgia. Clinched a share of their 15th regular season SEC title. Only LSU has more. LSU's won 17.
How long ago was it, Tom, when Vanderbilt won 26-3 in the league? Was that David Price? And then didn't make it to Omaha?
Well, David Price's team lost to Michigan.
Yep.
He came out of the bullpen to try and close it out, and that was in a regional, right?
That Vandy team that went 26-3 did not make it to Omaha. The only reason I say that, and maybe it would be similar with Oregon State last year, but it would be a giant shock if Florida is not in Omaha, just for how good and consistent that they've been. They haven't lost a series in a year and a half. 19 straight series wins for Florida, playing in this league.
Well, they do make it. I'll be looking forward to seeing the Sullivan kids.
Oh, yeah. Finn's not wearing half anymore. He's going to a real number.
Is he
He's
really?
Graduated out of a half.
He's not a half anything.
Yeah.
Still see the cheerleading outfit, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, there we go. That's what I'm talking about.
I was talking to Sully in the offseason. He was talking, and I didn't know this when we were in Omaha, but he goes out during batting practice, and Finn and Peyton, his two kids, are in the outfield, and there's like $21 bills laying on the ground. And he can't figure out what's going on. This is batting practice national championship finals. They were throwing balls into the stands, and people were throwing them money. They made like $25 in BP.
Outstanding.
Entrepreneurs.
Yep. But for the most part today, these have been the misses. And that's, we talked about this early with Murphy, and this is his control of the zone and his control of just moving out of the zone is really elite for a college guy. He overcomes what isn't overwhelming stuff by overwhelming control, and for the most part, the misses are usually in the right spot. Yep.
Fourth strikeout for Casey Murphy. Florida is the #1 RPI, the #2 strength of schedule. 22 top 50 wins. They're projected as the #1 national seed. And that's important this year for more than just bragging rights. In that, for the first time, the selection committee will seed the top 16 teams. So if chalk holds, the #1 national seed would face the #16 national seed in a super regional.
I like that a lot. I mean, Eddie, we've had too many times over the last few years to where if Florida's a national seed and Florida State isn't, or vice versa, then they're automatically going to match up in the super just because everybody's close. And this game has come too far. Softball's done it for a while. We need to seed 1 through 16.
Rob Childress thinks that Michael Hellman got hit. That's what Hellman tried to point out to Hank Himonen. And Himonen's going to check with his guys.
I don't know how anybody can have a better look than Hank Himonen of this.
Can't tell from that angle. Left foot blocks.
See if you see his pants move.
I do not think they're going to change this. Let's not forget earlier in the game, the third inning, with 2 outs, Murphy had 58 pitches to his name already with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. 99 pitches. He's been getting better as the game goes on with his control.
Important too, remember, for Arkansas's bullpen, Matt Cronin will be available tomorrow. He's not available today. Has missed a significant amount of time with mono. So no Cronin today. Yesterday they had to go 2 innings at the back end.
Reindl threw yesterday.
Jake Reindl. So if you get through today without having to go too deep to the bullpen, you got a healthy Cronin ready to go tomorrow. That's a huge deal for Arkansas.
By the way, hit by pitch is part of an experimental reviewable call, so they are reviewing this. If you want to see something funny, and he's a good dude, so I don't mean to poke fun, but Brian Walker was the Arkansas catcher back in the early 2000s with those Keuchel teams, and he tried to sell getting hit by a pitch in a game that Dave Neal was calling. You'll find it on YouTube. It is hilarious. The ball missed him by a good 5 inches, and he sold it and sold it, and he argued, and they showed the replay, and Dave Neal was just beside himself. It wasn't even close to hitting him.
I think I did that game.
Call stands. I'm not sure.
Did he get the hit by pitch, yes or no?
He did not get, well, this time and then he did not get ruled hit by pitch.
I love that your memory of games that I did is better than my memory of games that I did.
Well, I've probably watched it. I've probably watched it on YouTube more often than you have.
Oh, my.
Last I saw, Walker was an assistant coach at Wichita State.
Really?
It is one. I mean, it is an all-timer. So Hellman stands in with a count 1-0. Murphy over the century mark.
67% strikes.
Chopper. Martin. Off a hop, handled by Gates. A 1-2-3 frame. Will we see Murphy for the 8th? We'll wait and see. We go to the bottom of the 7th. 1-0 Razorbacks. They are rocking out in the hog pen. Is that a picture of baked potatoes?
What is that?
That would appeal to somebody who's on a plant-based diet, I suppose.
I'm going out there tomorrow.
Are you? Oh, they're back. Those, what are the strawberries? Are they bananas or something?
No, cheesecake with strawberries.
Strawberry cheesecake on a stick?
Yeah.
That's a good combo. Like most people wouldn't think to combine those things on a stick, but that's solid.
It really is.
He is the most popular guy in the ballpark.
Matt Reynolds jersey rocking.
Get a home run ball while you're out there.
Eddie, if you go out there tomorrow, will you bring some food back?
Barbecue?
Yeah.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
They have these, I'm telling you, they have the grills out there and everything. I might go get some steaks or something. What do you think?
We saw the barbecue squad in the parking lot pregame. Eric Cole looks at a strike. Just don't bring anything back plant-based.
Hold on, I'll cook it. I'm not deliver. Wait a second.
Should we hook up a pulley system? How are we supposed to get it?
We'll get it. We'll get it here. I'll send it over. I'll do a little Uber Eats or something.
I like it. I like it.
It's only 350 feet away.
Yeah,
it's not really that far, Eddie. It's really not.
Yeah, what am I going to walk through the field?
It's called time.
We'll hook up a zip line.
There he is. What's he cooking? Zoom in a little bit on that. How would you like to be the guy sitting next to the smoke? Just
he's not moving.
Got away from Bedford, and he fires down to finish the strikeout.
Nice job by Coleman.
What do we got?
It's like some chicken breast or something, right? Oh, yeah. I'm going to have to do some churrasco or something out there tomorrow.
I'm counting on you, man.
Wait, what'd you say? You can do some what?
Churrasco skirt steak. On a stick.
Of course.
Little competition for that cheesecake.
It's just pregame and postgame. Start with the churrasco, then go with the strawberry cheesecake on a stick. What'd you have pregame? Did you have the barbecue nachos?
That is an incorrect. I had the pulled pork sandwich. Tried to start a plant-based diet today and I couldn't do it.
Made it till noon and just shut it?
Shut it.
Did you see Tusk, the live mascot that they had at the
did.
ballpark today?
I did.
Did you walk past Tusk while eating pulled pork?
That's a little rude.
I actually sat in the stands and just enjoyed it. Enjoyed the atmosphere. This is just an unbelievable complex. Look at the condiments. Huh? Look at the relish right next to the ketchup.
Look at the Dr. Thunder.
You don't see Dr. Thunder every day.
No. I understand Sam's Club is pretty big around these parts. ...114 pitches for John Doxakis. His career high is 118.
That's a great pitch.
Wow.
You talk about the amount of pitches that he's thrown. On the 115th pitch, he's able to execute that right there. Could have gone either way.
Well, this is the one he struck Martin out looking on in the first inning. To go all the way back to that, trying to do the same thing. That looked like a strike out of his hand. Now Martin ends up working a walk. I think that may be it for Doxakis after that.
I'll give him one more hitter, left on left. Give a right-hander out in the bullpen. This hitter should be his. 1 for 3 so far. Hessen Kjerstad on the night, on the afternoon. All balls have been hit towards in the air to left field.
Fourth walk of the game for Doxakis. Submariner Nolan Hoffman is loose in the A&M bullpen. And you talk about personality. Wait till you see when Hoffman takes the mound, how he motivates himself. Off speed, popped up. Foster, Yancha converge. And that one's into the seats.
Nolan Hoffman's a great story. He comes out of fall and he's not going to pitch. And he didn't look like this. Over the top guy, normal stuff. Rob Childers grabs him. He's like, hey man, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you're not getting a lot of guys out. Why don't we try dropping you down? Try dropping him down. He's now their closer. It's been a totally different Nolan Hoffman.
Through the right side. Martin headed to third. The throw there, and behind him, Kjerstad's going to pick up an extra 90 feet.
You got to know your base runners in the outfield because Martin can absolutely fly. You get zero chance to throw out Casey Martin right here. And George Yancha at third base was pointing to second as this ball was coming in, trying to get the throw to go there. It's a good break. Martin takes a peek. He's going the entire time. And then Chandler Morris out in right field. There is zero reason to make this throw. Zero. You're not going to throw Martin out. Kjerstad now standing at second base, and that should be it today for John Doxakis, who threw the ball really well.
The entire game, Ron Childers has played his second baseman pull against Hessen Kjerstad. Now with a runner on first base, decides to play double play depth, ground ball right in the 4-3 hole.
1-0 game, and Arkansas threatening, so the Aggies go to the pen and their closer here in the 7th. Well, do you remember this guy, Mark the Bird Fidrich, who had some personality in a mound for the Detroit Tigers in the late 70s? He would talk to himself, motivate himself, and have all sorts of odd antics. Well, he was a really good pitcher for a very brief time. And now there's Nolan Hoffman, the junior from Lincoln, Nebraska, who dropped down sidearm this year at the insistence of his coaching staff. As Kyle alluded to, Rob Childers said you can either drop sidearm or not, but you're not going to pitch if you continue what you're doing. And now he's online to pick up a Texas A&M single season record for saves. He's second in the SEC. He's got a minuscule ERA of .89, a 4-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, and he will self-motivate by talking to himself on the mound. And he said, I don't care what people think. I don't care if it looks goofy. It works. And here he goes. Luke Bonfield is the batter with 2 in scoring position and 1 down.
You think he has a playlist, like go-to stuff in his mind that he's always going to say?
Absolutely.
Said he started doing it his first year at Hutch Junior College, and he was unaware that he was doing it. His third baseman finally one day said, hey, dude, who are you talking to? What are you talking about? He goes, you realize I can hear what you're saying.
He's got a Bluetooth in.
Yeah, maybe. He said, I became a little bit self-aware my sophomore year, so I ditched it and finally got to A&M, and this season has been such a learning opportunity for me, learning how to work hard, learning how to pitch in shape and throw strikes.
It's not an easy thing to do what he's done. I mean, to change what you've done your entire life. You get to Division I baseball, obviously for a reason, but it wasn't working in the fall. Now he's second in the league in saves from a totally different arm slot than he was 6 months ago.
He plays long toss and otherwise warms up over the top, and then once he gets into the bullpen, he'll drop sidearm. He said the biggest difference is that sometimes it takes him a little while longer to get a feel for his pitches. So he will throw a few more pitches in the bullpen than he normally would. I'm talking side session or getting ready to come into a game. That one caught Himonen, the home plate umpire.
Guys, my dad always told me, Tony Perez, Hall of Famer, we don't own that, but my dad always told me side armor, always go to right field. The approach has to be as a right-handed hitter to drive the ball to right field. If you try to pull it, because more often than not, you're going to end up hitting a ground ball to either the third baseman or shortstop, chopping it on the ground. If you try to go the other way, line drives and good things come out of it.
Because of the movement of the pitch?
The sink or the slider that is thrown from the side. You stay on it a little bit longer, you're able to drive it.
He could run it up there from down there. 92s and 93s from that angle. You don't see that very often.
This right here catches scouts' attention.
Oh, Lord, this plays for a while.
He's a high school shortstop. He said it found the position and the delivery very natural, just like I'm charging a ball. I asked him, I said, what would happen if we got a lip reader and we closed caption what you were saying? He said, I don't think my mom would be happy. That's 93 from down there. 2 on with Casey Martin, the base runner, at third, and Heston Kjerstad after a single and advancing on the throw at second. Popped him up. The drawn in infield. Hellman will drift back. 2 down. And it's not just the mechanical changes, KP, but also the mental challenges. At the end of the fall season, the Texas A&M players were asked to rank everyone on the team in terms of their effectiveness. Who's the best player on the team? Who's the worst player on the team? And Nolan Hoffman told me, he said, you know, I knew I wasn't having a great fall, but I thought I was better than a few guys. He goes, the results come in and I'm dead last? That had never happened to me before. That was an eye-opener. Yanked into the seats.
You know, this reminds me of, do you remember, I don't know if you're doing games yet. You must have been playing. You remember Darren O'Day when he was at Florida? Darren O'Day still pitching the big leagues, I believe, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah,
Darren O'Day was not drafted.
Oh, he was going to med school.
Yes. Was not drafted and is pitching the big leagues, I think, 10 years. But it was stuff similar to this. This plays, man. I mean, this is something that you get into a major league organization, and you got to realize he hasn't been doing it that long. So you let him work on a little bit longer. You work on a secondary pitch. I think we've only seen fastballs. I haven't seen a breaking ball.
No need. You continue to try to pull the ball. That foul ball that was hit, that's what's going to happen. Unless the pitch leaks out over the plate. Anything inside, tough to keep fair.
Darren O'Day initially didn't even make the Florida roster. Eventually, he was a key part of the team that went to the College World Series for the first time. That was '88, if I'm not mistaken. And he's still pitching in the big leagues for the Orioles.
The beauty of it is he was a shortstop. That arm is a fresh arm.
Yeah.
Especially from down there. You don't see a lot of arm troubles. I'd step out on him a couple times. See if he hyperventilates on the mound a little bit.
Get him really talking?
Oh, yeah.
You know what else you could do is you could answer him. You could just start having a conversation back and forth just to see.
I was way off on Darren O'Day of Florida.
No, O'Day would have been.
He was on the 05 College World Series team. Yeah.
88
I was
still pitching. He's
88
older
would
than
have been
Bartolo
after my
Colon.
time. Would have been before my time.
That would have been a record.
Stay hard.
Pitching at the age of 50 in the big leagues.
To right, Wynn's going to knock it down. Morris started back, now coming in, and he can't make the catch. 2 runs have scored for Arkansas on a misplay in right field.
And everything went well except Morris yesterday not in right field, didn't experience too much of the wind. First opportunity to catch a fly ball in right field, and it's ruled a double.
It's a little home cooking there. That's a backbreaker right there.
I mean, no sun to deal with, that's all wind.
If you make no break on that ball by moving back initially, it would not have taken extraordinary effort to make the play. It would have been a routine fly ball. Instead, it's a 2-run double for Carson Shaddy, who's driven in all 3 runs for Arkansas today.
Be careful with Fletcher right here.
Wow. Morris back at the fence. Got that one. Fletcher gave it a ride, and the wind brought it back, but a misplay in right field may have put this one out of the reach of the Aggies. They're going to need a lot of offense left. Down 3 with 6 outs to go in Fayetteville. Welcome back to the SEC on ESPN, high above Dixon Street. Still waiting for our dinner reservations tonight.
That works out okay now. 14 combined innings from the 2 starters. Casey Murphy's still back out there too, which I didn't know that we'd see him. 8 hits allowed, 3 earned runs. That was yesterday. 15 strikeouts, 2 walks. That wins you ball games.
That camera angle kind of reminded me. Did you see the highlights last night from the Big Ten softball tournament? They used a helicopter to try and dry the outfield.
Yeah.
Was it 8 hours? More than 8 hours out there?
Yeah, first pitch to last pitch. Blaine Knight on the left, Casey Murphy on the right. Murphy still out to work, over 100 pitches already.
Cole Bedford looks at a curveball for a strike. Murphy pitched exclusively out of the bullpen as a freshman. As a sophomore, a handful of starts, but never went more than 7. And he's gone 7 only once this season. That was 5 weeks ago against Auburn.
watching guys, it doesn't even look like they're trying. Murphy's kind of, I mean, obviously he's exerting plenty of into it, but it looks so controlled. It looks so controlled in the first. Nothing has changed along the way. He never seems like he tries to overthrow. He's real comfortable with his stuff. You don't see that from everybody. A lot of times you'll see guys that'll try to manipulate, do something more than maybe their natural stuff will allow. He doesn't. Stays within himself the entire ball game.
Off the heel, Karam toward the right side, and it goes untouched after that. No kick save for Murphy.
Well, unlike Dallas Keuchel, which has won Gold Gloves at the Major League level and pitched here at the University of Arkansas, when he finishes, he's already in a fielding position. You saw Murphy right there, not in a fielding position. 1 foot still in the air. Had no chance to make a play on that.
If you're A&M, now it's go time. Because you got the middle of your lineup, leadoff man on. Shoemake, Coleman to follow. They got to make some noise in this inning.
Shoemaker's been banged up this series. Twice he's been hit by a pitch. Had a collision with Jared Gates in his third inning at bat when he grounded out to the right side of the infield. Gates threw a cross-body block on him when he came across the bag. This sent Shoemake flying. Yikes.
That's after getting drilled yesterday, drilled earlier in the game today. On the ground for probably 30 seconds and pop right back up.
You had him in 30 seconds?
28, but I rounded up. Put him on the clock.
I love that. I thought he got up right at the 9 count.
Nope. Count too slow.
Climb the ladder on him.
Good, good, good. I like doubling up right there. Because if you miss with that, you can come back with a breaking ball that comes right out of the exact same window. But they threw a similar pitch and Shoemake fouled off. Now they're going to go a little bit higher. So run that fastball up and out of the zone. If he doesn't swing at it, so what? You come back with a slider. Looks like that'll be it for Casey Murphy. But that is a job well done. 111 pitches and a well-deserved standing ovation.
9,989 in the ballpark today, and they are showing their appreciation for the Razorback pitcher.
Work today by Casey Murphy, Game 2 starter for Arkansas, was in control the entire ball game. 5 strikeouts. The strikeout's not really what gets Murphy usually, though. But his 5th was a big one to get one of the better hitters in this A&M lineup. Elevates a fastball, gets Braden Shoemake to swing and miss. That would be the final out, the first out here of the 7th inning. But 7 1/3 innings, 4 hits, walked 2, struck out 5, career high in innings for Casey Murphy. So now back-to-back days, Arkansas starters have gone at least 7 innings. And they haven't had to use the bullpen much, but they will go to the bullpen here, and it's Barrett Lowski, who has real good stuff, and it's been getting better lately. Strikeouts have been rising for the junior out of Tulsa. For a depleted bullpen right now, important that they didn't have to go to him too much in the first 2 ball games, and they haven't. Lowski now on to try to get the final 5 outs.
Dave Van Horn's team trying to win the series with a victory here. 1 on and 1 out. Lowski out of Jenks High School in Tulsa. And he starts the curveball.
That's your scouting report right there. Yesterday, Coleman, first pitch that he saw, hit a home run. Today, first pitch that he saw a breaking ball. Again, it's the third time in the 4 at-bats he's had, in the 4 plate appearances, that they've started off with an off-speed pitch.
Loski's second cousin is Alex Gordon of the Royals. He was recruited to Nebraska by Rob Childress.
Former #1 overall pick for the Huskers.
Coleman punched out. Oh, pardon me, strike number 2. Morris Hodges is the first base umpire, said he went. Blocked by Cook, but Bedford takes advantage.
I think I got him in the neck. Watch Cook go out to get this one. This is not an easy one to block either because the ball's going to jump all the way up. Yeah, it did. It got underneath that mask.
He has to be able to put that chin
You got to bury it
down. You got to bury it. Watch how the head states forward, comes up, exposing the neck. He was lucky. He was very lucky.
That one hurts.
See how that mask has
Wash.
that extension right there? A lot of people wondering why not the throat flap, but it already comes in the form of a cage.
Actually, I think it's called an epiglottis. 2-2. Into the netting. By the way, Loski had a 10 strikeout game earlier this season against Texas Tech, and we're not seeing his rhythm on the mound right now because he's pitching out of the stretch. But when asked after the game about his performance and some of the incredible numbers he's put up this season, he referenced a pitching coach that he had this past summer. And one of the teaching points that he learned was firing his glutes. And he's firing the fastball to go with the breaking ball, glutes and all.
As the season has gone on, his strikeouts just continue to pile up. And for Loski, those 10 strikeouts, that was 4 2/3 innings out of the bullpen. Wasn't a game that he started in, work into the 8th. You can see the combination. He's going to be fastball, breaking ball. He's going to work the bottom part of the zone. And has been outstanding for this Arkansas bullpen. Between Loski, Matt Cronin, Jake Reindl, those have been the 3 that Arkansas really relies on the back end of ball games.
Pinch hitter is Frizzell. This is what he did last night. Launched it into the meat of a 20-mile-an-hour wind coming in from right field. He said today at the cage, he said, I knew I got all of it. He said, but then I saw the right fielder running back, and I thought, oh, my gosh, if the wind knocks this one down. Chopped to third. Martin. One pitch to retire the pinch hitter, Frizzell. Barrett Loski doing his job. Arkansas takes a 3-0 lead to the bottom of the 8th.
Dykeman on the ground. He'll come home with it. Rivera tags Robertson. Boom! Lippett with the bases loaded. Deacon Lippett makes it 5-1 Florida. On the ground to second. And the Gators get their first College World Series championship.
Well, can Florida repeat? Well, according to this season and D1Baseball.com, they're in line for the #1 national seed. The top 8 national seeds all would be at home all the way through the postseason prior to Omaha. Stanford in at #2. They are trying to even their series with Oregon State tonight, trying to win the Pac-12. North Carolina lost as a top 8 national seed last year, but they're in line for #3, and Georgia #4.
That's some interesting outcomes this weekend. So North Carolina's lost the first 2 to Duke this weekend. Georgia's lost the first 2 to Florida. So you got two separate series where projected top 8 national seeds are matching up here towards the end of the year. Clemson lost to Austin Peay yesterday in the opener of that one. Ole Miss has won the first 2 against Auburn.
So we're going to look at that Austin Peay loss for Clemson the same way we would kind of dismiss midweek losses. I mean, it's a weekend. It should carry more weight than a typical non-conference game, should it not?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, to me, I look at a series. I mean, I think if you win a series, you lose a ball game, but win a series, I still think that's a pretty acceptable weekend, regardless of who you're playing. Dustin Sines now the new pitcher for Texas A&M. A kid they're pretty excited about. The lefty can get into the low 90s, a couple different types of breaking balls.
Duke won its series with North Carolina. Blue Devils trying to get ahead of the Tar Heels in the Coastal. They're now a half game back with a weekend to play and one more game to go in that series. Clemson and Austin Peay, speaking to your series, they're tied at 1 in the 3rd inning in game number 2. Deloach. One down. This week, the Sunday Night Baseball crew's in Arizona for the game between Bryce Harper and the Nationals and A.J. Pollock and the Diamondbacks. Our coverage begins at 7 Eastern on ESPN with Baseball Tonight Sunday Night Countdown, and both streaming live on the ESPN app. Sunday Night Baseball. May I finish?
Wow. That was terrible.
Sunday Night Baseball is presented by Taco Bell.
That's terrible. I'm sorry. What I was going to say is Jeremy Hellickson going for the Nationals. He took a perfect game into the 7th earlier this week against the Padres. 6th or 7th, I believe.
Took it into the 7th.
I got excited, and I said it too early, and I shouldn't have, so I apologize. Tommy mad at me?
A little bit, yeah. It's going to take me a while to get over this.
Didn't he have the last read?
Yeah, I mean.
And you didn't interfere, did you, Tom?
No, I did not. I respect him as a reader.
I need to read the next one. Inside information says we have a celebrity watching it right now.
Oh.
I talked right over the Sunday Night Baseball. Mendoza's watching, and she's mad. So I apologize. I already apologized to Tom. I apologize to the country. I won't do it again. Maybe I should just read it.
Your math has been better than your reading skills this weekend. You were really good with that percentage yesterday. There's a strike on Jared Gates. 9,989 all disagree with Hank Himinen.
I think the 9,000 and change are probably right on this one.
Ball's a bit down, but good angle right there on Sines.
Little roller, tough play off the back. Coleman and Sines there to cover.
Great play by Sines. Just coming into the game and not assuming that the first baseman will get there. First baseman commits to go after the ball, and any hesitation whatsoever, that play does not happen.
So this is the one too. It's easier for a left-hander. As a left-hander's going over, it's glove side right there. Watch this ball, head down, bag. But because that glove is on that side, usually the throw's going to be to the first base side. So as your momentum's taking you over there, it's a lot easier for that left-hander to make that play. Righty, you got to reach all the way across your body, but that's still well done for Sines to break down, find the ball, then immediately find the bag.
This crowd is all over Hank Himinen.
I'll tell you the one thing, and it doesn't happen all the time if you have big crowds. They also really know the game. I mean, they kind of know when to get up. They know when to jump on a home plate umpire.
I think the best thing that happened to Hank Himmonen right there was a hit by pitch. Everybody lost the focus on him and put it more on the hit by pitch.
How about that?
I used to have a pair of those.
Then what happened?
You did?
I did.
Did you wore them in public?
No. I said I used to have
You just
a pair.
said you had them. You didn't say you wore them.
Right. By the way, that suntan on. Not a good look.
It's a funny tan line.
That's not a good look for the tan line.
Watch the lower left corner of your screen in the reaction. You stink.
Oh, what a beauty.
Oh, yes.
You would think that they're losing.
I know. You're ahead.
After the leadoff double in the game, Eric Coles had a tough go at it.
He's still mad.
Oh, he was there yesterday. Same spot. Wearing a gray outfit.
Working on the tan today. Like it. Sun's out, guns out. Fire away.
Do you hear a lot of woos in big league ballparks?
No. I hear a lot of whistling.
They're only human. Ball and 2 strikes to Cole. Doubled and scored his first time up. Team's leader with 12 home runs. By the way, our buddy Greg McElroy had a birthday a couple days ago. It's a base hit for Cole the opposite way. He and Cole are both products of South Lake Carroll High School in Texas. Guys like Chase Daniel, Todd Dodge, Aaron Luna, Christy Evelyn, who's a great athlete in soccer, basketball, and track. All of those people are in this South Lake Carroll Hall of Honor, including your buddy Chris Brown.
Absolutely.
Played 12 years in the NFL. But Greg McElroy is not in the South Lake Carroll Hall of Honor.
Can't you just make a call, Hart?
I've been pushing for it, but they haven't been picking up the phone. We need to make this happen.
We're going to make a pitching change happen instead.
So Signs is done. They call the Hogs here in Arkansas with the Razorbacks up 3-0. You want to read this one?
Give me the card, Hart. Give me the heart. Sports Center tonight after Top Rank Boxing with John Buccigross, Kenny Mayne. They'll have the post-fight reactions from Madison Square Garden. Plus the Celtics, Big Four talk about their run to the Eastern Conference Finals, as well as facing LeBron and the Cavs. And Barry Melrose breaks down Golden Knights Jets Game 1. Sports Center, that's how you say it, Hart, 10 p.m. Eastern.
What time is that?
ESPN and ESPN app, 10 p.m. Eastern, ESPN and ESPN app.
Is there a better story?
You're up next.
I was wondering when it was going to
You're up next.
be me.
Is there a better story in sports than the Golden Knights?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, huh? I don't know a whole lot about hockey, but they're winning a lot.
That town is riled up.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Here's Landon Miner. He's from right near campus in Bryan, Texas. Just the 6th appearance of the season. And the Aggies want to stay within striking distance. When they come to the plate in the 9th, they need Miner to step up. This is the heart of the order. 2-hole hitter Casey Martin.
He's been quiet today.
been quiet, but last time when he walked, it was a big walk, going first to third with unbelievable speed.
This dude is going to be a star.
Through the wickets and all the way to the backstop. Both runners advance.
It's a play Bedford usually makes. Getting down and blocking at 78-mile-per-hour off-speed pitch. He's upset at himself.
Change up upstairs.
Like that one.
Dangerous pitch though up.
It is.
In the letters.
But I do like there's more guys throwing right on right changeups, and you don't want to throw it there, obviously. But the arm speed of that works against right-handers. I mean, if you throw it in the right spot, the velocity difference, and I don't think it's expected. You don't see it as much. It almost happened again. He got saved by that back shin guard right there because that one looked like it was going to the backstop again.
Well, usually catchers are taught to block the curveball, the slider in the dirt. Wherever the ball's going, you break to the other side of it. With the changeup, it's a different beast. Watch the glove. Stay down on the ground. Just comes up.
Yeah, both times. You're going to drive that in your bare hand right down into the dirt, let it sit there.
To the left side of Shoemake. That will close the inning. Last chance for the Aggies. Arkansas trying for a series win. They lead 3-0. We go to the ninth. Senior Day and graduation weekend, and 3 current Razorbacks on the field today were honored before the game for graduation. Carson Shaddy, Luke Bonfield, and Jared Gates. Gates from Wichita is over at first base right now. Carson Shaddy next to him at second. He's in his 5th year in the program. Has had to deal with injuries time and again. And Luke Bonfield DHing. Logan Foster at the plate, 1-0.
You know, you look at this Arkansas offense, and we've talked about the power. The balance of it is interesting to me. You got 2 of your better hitters are freshmen, and 2 of your better hitters are seniors. Guys in Bonfield and Shaddy that are hitting right in the middle of the lineup now. And then Martin and Kerstad right before. Not a lot of times you get a senior to come back and hit 4th in your lineup, a senior to come back and hit 5th. It just doesn't happen as much.
Three-0 the count to Foster. Foster draws a 4-pitch walk. Wes Johnson to the mound.
I like this. Something the SEC does. Get the graduate patch when guys have graduated, so we get a few of them out there on the field right now. Busy weekend this weekend. Had some graduation ceremonies yesterday, some today.
That is really cool. And by the way, also in the booth, Hunter, she's here with us. She graduated yesterday. She
stage
walked.
manager up here. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You need a patch. They got to get you in a graduate patch.
That's right.
Art, did you ever graduate?
My mom thinks so.
Okay.
That's good enough for me. Best 9 years of my life.
Mine was 8.
A lot of people go to school for 9 years. They're called doctors. Runner goes. Pitch is a strike. Barrett Lowski on the mound. Did you hear what he credited? What just talking about last half inning, firing his glutes. Said he wasn't very successful, being real stagnant on the mound. So when he's not having to hold anybody on, he'll kind of rock and fire. Save! Aggie's going to bring the tying run to the plate.
Yeah, they're making it interesting right
Absolutely.
now. Aggie's bottom half of the lineup right now is battling. Right here you see him charging in, but there's really no play. Gets out of the box nicely. Deloach always with that speed. We talked a lot about Fletcher in center field for Arkansas, but Deloach runs beautifully down that line.
Freshman who was a leadoff hitter for A&M through the first half of the season. And the offensive numbers have started to drop down, but he can still really run.
Cam Blake will pinch hit here. Tomorrow's Mother's Day. Cam asked his mom what she wanted for Mother's Day, and she said, I only have one wish, and that would be for you to shave that terrible thing that's on your upper lip right now. He said, Mom, you know I love you. I hope you have a happy Mother's Day. That's not happening.
I'll pick out a nice card.
In for a strike. Jake Reindl, who graduated yesterday, through last night, is getting loose for Arkansas now. Blake sends this one to the gap in left center. Caught up by Kerstad, and that'll get a run home. And they say left early. They're going to peel over at third. No. Hank Himonen did not see him leave early, and they're wondering why didn't Scott Klein make the call there?
Well, it's not Scott Klein's call on third base. He's looking at the fielder.
Yeah.
That's the home plate umpire, the one that makes that call. It's virtually impossible for the third base umpire to make that call.
Ray Gregson peeked into home plate to ask him if he had seen the play. Gregson is out at second.
And as a runner at third base, there is no need. There is no need whatsoever to leave early. You know as a player that your run doesn't mean much. That throw has to go to second base.
It was immediate, too. I mean, the entire dugout was yelling right away.
Tag-up plays are reviewable, an experimental review for SEC games. If a runner failed to retouch his base after a ball is legally caught. That's the look at first.
That's a tough one right there. This one would be the best angle. Makes the catch there.
He's still on it, right?
Yeah, he's still on it. You already see Kjerstad turn his body.
So the play will stand, and the Aggies get a run across here in the ninth inning. If nothing else, that gave Jake Reindl a little bit more time to get loose.
Reindl threw 41 pitches last night. I think the last thing that Arkansas wanted to do is have Reindl up and throwing it all today.
Aaron Walters to the plate. freshman from Kerrville, Texas. Arkansas will get the use of their closer Cronin tomorrow. Mandated rest by doctor's orders after recovering from mononucleosis. And so Matt Cronin will throw tomorrow regardless of score situation, save situation. Late on 91. Pitching coach Wes Johnson can hardly bear to look.
Wes Johnson in the past used to be a second baseman.
I love hanging with that guy. That is one smart dude when it comes to pitching, man.
Nice job right there protecting the plate.
You bury a breaking ball here, you're going to strike him out. 3 straight fastballs had to pick up the pace a little bit on the swing. If you bury a breaking ball and started out of that same window as those 3 fastballs in a row have come, I think you're going to get a swing right over the top.
They better execute. If not, that 4-3 hole is a big one.
That'll get all the way to the backstop. And DeLoach goes into second to take away the double play.
That doesn't happen very often with Cook.
That's huge right there. That guarantees Michael Hellman higher possibility of swinging with double play out of order. See him take his eyesight from it.
Mm-hmm. Full count now to Aaron Walters.
This is a really good at-bat from the freshman.
They're going for the lead runner, got to tag him and got him somehow. Casey Martin lost his footing, still had the ability to get the tag down on DeLoach.
I think they're going to take another look at this one.
It's a gutsy play by Kenley.
Yeah.
Even if the ball's in front of him, with one out right here, just go to first base, get the out.
Yes.
That run doesn't mean anything.
Was the right foot in before the tag came down on the left foot.
Jack Kenley hasn't played a lot of shortstop this year, and I know Dave Van Horn talks about him as being the best defender. You got to throw that ball to first base. If it's a tie ball game, I totally get it trying to do that. But you got a 2-run lead in that spot. Outs are more important than erasing a guy at third base right there.
Score dictates where you go with the baseball.
You get the tag on that left knee. Tag on the left knee before the right foot got there.
That's what I saw live.
Question.
Yeah. Alontae Wingate is going to pinch run at first. They say he got him. Wow.
There was not an immediate argument from Will Bolt, the third base coach, at all. In fact, there was more disgust than an argument. That's a pretty athletic play by Martin. because, I mean, he lost his wheels on the way down and still had the presence of mind to catch it and get a tag down.
So back to the top of the order, and Michael Hellman, hitless today, came in third in the SEC in batting average. He's homered 6 times this season. He represents the tying run.
A little bit more velocity now. 94, the best fastball of the day from Lowski right there.
Take 20 miles per hour off. That's what you get. Good break on that 74 mile per hour curveball.
What's next in the sequence?
Elevated fastball.
Bingo.
Arkansas is trying to win the East or the West. Forgot my map. And trying to win the series. Into the glove of Kenley, no play. And the Aggies have the tying run aboard.
It's too good. It's too good, 0-2.
Pitch selection was wrong.
Yeah, I like that 1-2. So come back and elevate a fastball. If you don't get a swing on an elevated fastball, throw that breaking ball to where it looks the exact same out of your hand. But instead, right here, because you see where that pitch starts. It starts where if you throw a fastball to that same spot, if he doesn't swing, follow it with that one. But selection and location, I would question both on that. I mean, he's not trying to throw the pitch where he did. Obviously, he's trying to bury it.
Watch Cook try to block he wants that ball in the dirt.
Yeah.
Didn't get it. Now this is a dicey situation.
Cole Bedford has 2 hits on the day. 2 outs in the 9th. And he's aggressive.
Bedford's job here is to try to get Shoemake to the plate. Your most consistent hitter all season long. Your best offensive player on deck. Anything you can to get that man right there at the plate.
And he's been quiet for 2 days. He's due for a good swing.
Ooh, nothing in 2.
Ay, bendito. That gets me speaking a little Spanish. Ese picheo está fuera.
¿Te gusta?
No. He's been calling it on all day, though.
If that meant throw it again there, I totally agree.
The 0-2. Got him swinging. And Arkansas takes the series.
This is a team that capitalizes on mistakes, and playing right field in the bottom of the 7th inning was a big one as the Razorbacks were able to add on to their lead.
Yeah, ends up being one of the biggest plays in the entire game. Casey Murphy was outstanding. 7 1/3, struck out 5, the longest outing of his career, and Barrett Lowski was good enough at the back end. Arkansas has won the first 2.